I gotta unplug it. The headphone was causing the issue.
Oh, we got.
Sportsmanship to others. And again, welcome Prince George High School, support your team and be a good sport. To wear a mask at all times. Families must sit 10 foot apart. Thank you. members of Dinwiddie and Prince George, you can contribute to a high game standards by remembering that you represent your school just as definitely as a member of your team. Good sportsmanship is a top priority of Virginia High School League and is expected at Prince George High School. The manner in which your school is represented is far more important than wins and losses. Cheer for your team, but respect the other team, fans, and game officials. Good sportsmanship is all about respect, win with humility, lose with grace, and do both with dignity. So conduct yourself as true sportsmen, encouraging through your behavior, the practice of good sportsmanship. And again, welcome to Prince George High School. And we are glad to have high school football back at Prince George and at Dinwiddie.
I will say that the first time I ever met online boys on here. Since then, Lockett, we're all standing around the car trying to bring in help out this time. Because it's pouring down rain, pouring down rain. And we're all standing around there getting sick.
Number 15 is our next player, is Jacoby Lee. He's escorted by Coach Green. 1 year on the varsity, plans to attend Virginia State, play college football. Next up is number 16, Jacob Hill. Escorted tonight by Josh Hill and Amanda Hill. This is 3rd year on the varsity. He's a cadet major, co-captain of the rifle team for JROTC. His college plans are John Tyler to pursue a degree in paramedics. After achieving the degree, I plan to move either up north or out west to pursue a career in fire and EMS. Our next football player is number 17, Patrick Lockett. Being escorted tonight by Carmen Mayberry, his 2nd year on the varsity. College plans are to attend the University of Alabama, become a physical therapist. Next up is number 19, William Headley. Being escorted tonight by Mr. and Mrs. Newt and Christy Headley. This is his 3rd year on the varsity. He is our new state champion in wrestling. William is a multi-sport letterman, 2 years in track, 3 years in varsity football, 4 years of wrestling. Willie just returned from the VHSO Class 5A state wrestling tournament where he won the 195-pound state championship. Plans to attend a local 2-year college and end up in law enforcement. Next up is number 21, Antonio Barrios Gonzalez, escorted by Yana Bradley. 1st year on the varsity, college plans is to attend New River Valley. Next up is number 30, Gerald Pretlow, escorted by mother Miss Althea Pretlow Davis. His 1st year on the varsity, and they plan on playing soccer for his high school activities. College plans to ECPI, and future plans is great. Create my own business and travel. Next up is number 39, Judah Mayhew, being escorted by Coach Thomas. Number of years on the varsity is 2 years. Plans to attend UTEP, and his future plans are electrical engineer, college football player. Next up is number 56, Dekai Ellis, being escorted by Melissa and Stephen Ellis. His 3rd year on the varsity team, captain of the varsity wrestling team, and in future plans to work for Fire MS after graduation. Next up is number 58, Keandre Ruff, being escorted by Kayla Burgett and Stuart Jefferson. Number of years on the varsity is 3. Other activities is playing basketball. Plan to attend Virginia Union University, play football, and study criminal justice. Next up is number 60, Altarique Brown, escorted tonight by his mother, Michelle Brown. This is 2nd year on the varsity. Planning to attend ODU. Future plans, get a degree in cybersecurity. Next up is number 64, Bradley Pritchard, being escorted tonight by Father Bradley Pritchard and guardian Rick Tedderton. 3rd year on the varsity, plan to attend James Madison University, and their future plans are in the Air Force. Next up is number 68, Aaron Graham, escorted by Cecil Graham. 2 years, 2nd year on the varsity. He also throws a shot put. Planning to attend MTSU, and future plans to eventually make my own gaming industry. Next up is number 72, Jalen Montgomery, being escorted by mother Veronica Montgomery. This is his 4th year on the varsity. Other school activities is track and field, and he's planning to attend James Madison University where he will play football. Next up is number 78, Isaiah Palingo, being escorted by Amanda and Timothy Palingo. 3rd year on the varsity. College plans is uncommitted. Future plans, go to college to play football and major in business. Next up is Nicholas Edward Brown, number 79. He is being escorted tonight by mother Susan Brown. It's his 2nd year on the varsity. currently participates in SGA, choir, and beta, in FCA. Will be attending Richard Bland in the fall to finish associate, then transfer to Ferrum. His future plans are to join the FBI as a profiler, negotiator, or behavioral analyst. Next up tonight is number 80, Chris Allen, being escorted tonight by Tara Allen, Curtis Allen, and it looks like his brother is there with him, Curtis Allen. Other activities are varsity basketball, varsity track and field. Plan to attend Christopher Newport to play football and get a degree in business management. And our last senior of the night, number 85, Lee Peterson, being escorted by Kendria Anthony, Sandra Grandmom, and Elliott. Fourth year on the varsity, planning to attend Christopher Newport University to become personal trainer and own his own gym. And our last group coming down now is your 5 managers. You got Brianna Barlow. It's her 3rd year with the varsity, Pritchard social media team, leader, DECA Club, plans to attend Richard Bland for business. Victoria Hunt, 2nd year managing basketball and football. She plans to attend Virginia State, majoring in psychology while working as a CNA. Nija Daniel, 2 years on the varsity. No other activities in the school. Norfolk State University to become a CRNA. Brittany Johnson has played soccer in 2 years as a football manager. Scholarship to Jacksonville University in Florida, majoring marine science while working as a CNA. And our last manager of the night is Lydia Moore. Her other school activities are soccer. She plans to attend Richard Bland and be a nurse practitioner. At this time, would you please give these seniors a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now please rise, remove your caps, as we honor America with our national anthem, performed by gospel recording artist Jackie Thomas.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Jackie, for that great rendition of the national anthem. And now here come the rest of your Royals. Once again, tonight's high school football game is being played between the Dinwiddie Generals. Head coach of the Generals is Billy Mills. Assistant coaches David Davis, Don Bowles, Boris Johnson, Nick Taylor, Casey, Bill Mazzello, BJ Slade, Victor Slade, Chris Bowles, Cordell Gibbs, Matt Krupp, Casey Dooley, Chris Bowles, and Devin Foster.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the long-awaited and highly anticipated season of high school football. We've got a good one for you tonight. We've got the Dinwiddie Generals taking on the Prince George Royals here in Prince George, Virginia. My name is Brad Wren. With me, as always, my co-host Jesse Kirby. I tell you, Jesse, I'm feeling good about this one. You've got two teams coming off of playoff seasons. You've got Prince George Royals, who were 7-4 last year, making it to the playoffs for the first time in 23 years. You've got the Dinwiddie Generals, who made it to the playoffs, made it all the way to the conference championship, where they ultimately ended up losing. But you've got to feel like these are two teams that are coming in with some confidence.
No doubt. And what a beautiful sight it is, but not a beautiful day that it is, because we definitely got some rain falling. It's cold. There's a breeze blowing in. But hey, football is back. High school football is back.
Would you want it any other way?
I wouldn't.
For two local teams to battle it out the way they do. I mean, last season they played each other in week 4. It made it to an overtime game at 24-24, where Prince George ended up kicking a field goal to win it. I mean, isn't this the setting you would want on the opening week of football? Just a rainy battle.
Right here with the grit in your teeth and the water on your face. It's exactly how I wouldn't have it any other way, except for unless it could be 65 and beautiful outside. I would take it that way.
I would not be mad at. And, you know, maybe a couple of fans in the stands. This has obviously been a incredibly long, unpredictable offseason, and that kind of sets you up for where is this team going. Obviously, both teams relied heavily last year on their seniors. This year, you know, kind of taking those juniors who would have stepped into that role in September have had to wait all the way until February. I mean, none of these kids have played since December of 2019. That's a long time to be off the field.
Very true. Good thing for Prince George, though, they do have a couple key names coming back, and one of those names is Curtis Allen, who wasn't even supposed to be the number 1 back last year, who got thrown into it and ran with it literally.
Yeah, I think, what was he, I think the 4th rank in the division last year. And like you said, I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be the starting guy. He just kind of had to fill in when Sidney Rose got hurt, and he more than carried his weight.
Well, here we are. We've made it to opening kickoff. Got Prince George giving it to Dinwiddie, and the kick is up. Took it about the 15. Made it all the way out to about the 30-yard line.
With the weather tonight, I'm interested to see what happens as far as what's the game plan. You know, like with it being this wet and, you know, going to get a little muddy, like you have to imagine that they're going to have to rely heavily on the running game.
You're going to rely on your run game. You're going to put a couple extra blockers in there. But for the defensive side of the ball, that's when you just go back and man and you just send as many people as you can, because
for sure, pressure.
Got Dinwiddie settling back in the shotgun for their first play. A little motion out to the right. It's QB keep. Looks like a gain of about 4 there. Like you're saying, come out immediately with a QB run right up the middle. I think we're going to be seeing a whole lot of just simple QB runs, maybe a whole bunch of course, running backs, but
This is a running team in Dinwiddie also. I mean, you're looking at, I think they had 2,350 rushing yards last year. A lot of that was their seniors, so I am curious to see how the juniors and sophomores step up into those roles. But they're a running team, and right now Prince George is putting the pressure on them. I mean, Prince George obviously knows that and is going to account for it.
They are playing hot and they are playing ready already, it looks like. They come out and they're already getting what looked to be about a 5-yard loss.
3rd and 11. You were dead on because it was a 2nd and 6. Now we're 3rd and 11. Let's see if they can pick up these 11 yards.
Dinwiddie staying in the shotgun. Kind of how I figured Prince George isn't really pressing. Good hit over the middle for a good gain.
Wow.
That'll be a general first down. About the 44-yard line of the Beavers. 1st and 10.
All right, a little pistol formation for Dinwiddie.
Again, stuffed in the backfield. This Prince George defense is acting like they are not going to let you do that again to them.
It was kind of the same setup, but Dinwiddie is just knowing that. I mean, Prince George is just going to keep bringing that pressure tonight. Like I'm saying, I mean, with the wet conditions, it's just real hard to just get a good grip on that ball. I mean, I did see a whole bunch of practicing of the pass plays, I guess, just to see if it would work, and I did see a good few of them get hooked up. So
I'm curious to see how much they put that into. I mean, here we go.
Look at this, going deep, got his man.
Beautiful pass.
Made it all the way down to what looks to be about the 9-yard line. That was a huge gain for Dinwiddie. They are already knocking on the door.
I think that took them down to the 6. It looks like you've got a safety down. I'm not sure if he. I think
like
he was just emotional, or maybe.
Nah, he's got something going on.
Yeah, he's taking a step off.
But at least he got up under his own power and he's walking off. So hopefully he just got a little tagged up right there.
So that puts them at 1st and goal on the 6-yard line with about 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go of the first quarter.
It's Jaden Banks that got a little shooken up on that play. He's over here trying to walk it off right now.
Yeah, he's walking it off on the sidelines.
Plays wide receiver on offense also.
Ran it straight up the middle for, looks like, a gain of 2 or 3.
Do you think they can pound it in here? Or you think they're going to have to sweep something out?
I think that Prince George's defense, they're putting a lot of pressure right there in the middle. I think if you might be able to power through, but I think you're really going to have to go out, either side and kind of make a sweep in.
But I'm liking Dinwiddie's drive so far. They hit you with a few runs up the middle to the right, and then they just hit you with a bomb deep. I mean, it draws that defense up close.
QB keep, and it looks like he is
just short.
3rd in inches.
Just short.
They're calling it a 3rd and 1. Let's see if they can punch it in, because again, with the weather being the way it is, you've got to imagine you're gonna want to try to veer from kicking as much as you can. You don't want to kick these field goals. You'd rather just punch it right in,
You always want 7 points, and we got a timeout for Dinwiddie here. Try to get a little bit more collected. Looks like they were bringing in a couple more extra bigger blockers.
But like you were just saying a second ago, I think what you've seen out of them so far is exactly what you would want to see. Some good solid runs. I mean, that was the 3rd run. He got 11 yards out of the deal. I mean, then to throw a deep pass. I mean, I think it just kind of took Prince George off guard. I don't think that they were anticipating that deep of a pass this early in these conditions. When situations arise and, whether you're up or you're down, you kind of got to make things happen. But this early, I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Back them up immediately.
Because, I mean, look where they're at now. I mean, the 3rd and 1, 3rd and very manageable. It's just.
Well, that big pass play got them all the way down to the 6, and usually you can just get your running back to go ahead and just pound it right in there for you. I mean, this is awesome to start out on your first drive already knocking on the door. All right.
So again, it's 3rd and 1 with about 8:41 on the clock. They run it up the middle.
And they get there.
Touchdown.
Dinwiddie has already scored. It is 6-0. Dinwiddie on top. They scored on their first drive. Did a good little mix of runs up the middle to the right and hit it deep with that big pass play that set up this touchdown.
For sure. I mean, as an offensive coordinator, that's all you can ask for right there. I mean, just stay consistent.
The only thing I would ask is wide receiver to keep his feet, but I'm not going to yell at him.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, again, with it being this early, and again, none of these kids have played since December.
Oh!
And it is blocked. So that going to keep it a 6-0 game.
I tell you, Prince George is flying off that ball.
So that was one of the things that we were looking at last year was, although Prince George, again, they had a 7-4 season, made it to the playoffs, which is a good feat, but it was their defense that kept them there. If you look at their points scored against their points scored against, I mean, they didn't really put up very good numbers. Their offense, you know, again, Curtis Allen did what he could, Tavion Morris did what he could, and even Tahir Johnson, the quarterback, they made some plays, but it was really the defense that kept them alive in these games. And I think for Prince George to do what they did last year, they're going to have to be strong on offense, which I'm excited to see. They're up.
Well, after all of this that we've been through with the pandemic, the shortened season, the horrible off season, all of that, the one thing you need to be able to rely on is at least your defense being hot. If they can keep going out there and being hot, even though they did just get scored on, they did show some great life on that drive.
But it all came down to that big pass. I think without that, I mean, again, they had him at a 3rd and 11.
I love the call.
For sure. I mean, take a chance. It's early in the game. You've got a chance to pick it back up if you end up missing it. And it worked out to be a perfect play.
Oh, muff punt. Who see who comes up with it?
That is not what you want on special teams. You know, you're hoping to pick that up and at least get back up to the 25.
So it looks like they're going to be starting at about
the 16.
I would say the 17, something like that. Yep. Let's see how Prince George comes out and lines up for their first drive.
I'm curious to see for Prince George if they develop a passing game this season. Last year, again, they had Curtis Allen who carried the weight, but I mean that was their only plan of attack was their run game.
Oh, good moves. Taking the sideline with a great gain. He took something and made it in. I mean, took nothing and made it into something. That play looked like it was going to be dead early.
That's one of those ones where you get the feel that Johnson was just trying to just get it away. You know, you don't want to take a loss.
I've escaped the pocket. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, we'll take the down.
For sure.
It brings them up to what looks to be the 35. Fresh set of downs after the first play for Prince George on offense.
It looked like there was a lot of pressure from Dinwiddie, and I think, you know, if you're Prince George, you kind of use that against them. If they are going to pressure you that hard, those quick little screen passes like that might be your way down the field.
Dinwiddie only sending 3 because... Oh, sending more. Never mind.
A lot of pressure.
They got me.
They run right up the middle. They're calling a turnover.
Fumble recovery. Not going to give it to him, it looks like, though. Dinwiddie defense trying to come out and make a statement just like the offense just did.
That's another thing about Prince George is that last year they only had one offensive fumble all year long, and that was from Sidney Rose, who, you know, got hurt. He was playing injured. I mean, to only have one offensive turnover or one offensive fumble the whole year, I don't think you're going to get it out of their hands a whole lot.
No, it looks like they definitely teach them very good ball security around here. I don't think of any time that we've released. I mean, all of that last season.
Oh, looks like there's a false start on Prince George. That was one of the key things that really hurt Dinwiddie last year when they played Prince George, was that there was 111 yards taken against Dinwiddie in that game, where Prince George only had 34. 111 yards. They made it all the way down the field and then some, just off of penalties alone.
Just don't beat yourself is all I'd be saying as a coach today. Do not let yourself beat you.
For sure. I'm sure Dinwiddie's liking seeing that Prince George is getting the first penalty.
Ooh, slipped up there after a fake handoff.
That's what the weather would do. Like we said, I mean, it's only going to get worse. I mean, this rain doesn't look like it's lighting up. As it keeps raining this field and as they're running, it's just going to keep getting slipped. And I think you're going to see a lot of it.
Just hope to do not see any injuries. I mean,
for sure.
First game of the season. 7 minutes left, just under in this first quarter. Score still is 0-6 with Dinwiddie on top.
3rd and 14 on the 27. So they've got a little bit of ground to make up here on this down.
What looked to be a little bit of promise on that first play is stalled until
High
now
snap.
with a
Big
hurdle.
With a hurdle.
Makes it almost all the way out to the 48-yard line. What a huge run.
That was Curtis Allen, the man who carried the team last year.
Would you say last year he put it on his back?
I mean, because it was a lot of runs just like that, where you run it up the middle. There was some pressure. He just found a hole. He made it happen. He saw a guy in front of him, and he was like, you know what? I can't go through you, so I'm going to go over you.
It was incredible watching him do it, twice on the same play last year?
Yeah.
A little motion coming into the left.
Looks like he gained maybe 3 out of that deal.
Brings him up to second down. Still just shy of that 50-yard line.
I think, just like we saw last year, I think you'll see a lot of that. I think you'll see a lot of Curtis Allen. I think they've got some big tight ends and some good receivers. But Curtis Allen is just such a good ball player.
Oh, yes. No, I mean, to be thrown into the number 1 spot last year when you had no anticipation. Well, you wanted it.
Yeah, you won it, but you never saw it coming.
No. What a pass. Out to his right. Almost hooks up.
I like that they're going for it, though. Again, we didn't see a whole lot of passes last year. Last year, it was that we saw that I formation, where the fullback would cut over from whatever if he was on the left side, he'd cut over to the right side, and then they'd run it up the middle.
Yep.
We saw that play over and over and over, and all season long we were like, just throw the ball.
Yep.
And it looks like they're doing it this year.
That was Willie Jennings he was targeting there.
Willie Jennings is one that I would keep your eye on this year.
Why is that?
He, just based off of stats from last year, he's going to be, I think, going to be their number 1 receiver this season.
Wanted to go to his left, rolling to his right, trying not to take a loss, and he turned it into something once again. That
was Tahir Johnson, the quarterback, keeping it just kind of with a scramble.
Crossed over into Dinwiddie territory for the first time tonight. This is a long first drive. Got 5:10 left in the first quarter.
He's gained enough yardage for another Royals first down.
So they got another first down, so that'll be a 1st and 10 on, looks like, the 47.
Why don't you look one more time?
Or sorry, 43.
43.
We had this issue a lot last year, guys. For those of you that are new to us, I like to throw out like they're on the 51, which doesn't make any sense. But, you know, it's going to happen from time to time, and you're just going to have to deal with me. To hear Johnson with a keep again to cut up the middle.
Gaining yardage. That brings them up. I mean, it's going to make a second down.
For those of you that are live with us now, make sure you like and subscribe our page. We will be with Prince George, what should be every game. The away games are a little skeptical right now.
Snap, running it to the right, sheds a tackler, jukes another.
What another good run by Allen.
I think he's just shy of the first down. He did get it.
Got it. They gave it to him.
Another first down for the Royals. Clock winding down to 4 minutes left in this first quarter.
So as I was saying a second ago, we are definitely going to be with Prince George for all of the home games. The away games are kind of up in the air right now. The good side of that is of a 6-game season, 4 of them are at home. So there is a timeout.
I didn't see who took that timeout, did you?
I did not. Doesn't it just feel good to be back? I mean, there's live football, you know, for a season that just felt like there was such uncertainty on if the season was even going to happen, you know, when it was going to happen. It's just
Me, the most is we have an open concession stand. I didn't think they were going to have it open this time.
No, me either, especially with the limited amount of fans that were allowed here. From what I was seeing is it looks like there was 2 tickets per player for family.
Yep.
So, I mean, looking at this crowd, looking at these stands, it's definitely a different environment than you're used to, just for the sake of, I mean, normally when we were here last year, there wasn't an open seat.
Good thing, too, everybody is not even fighting the restrictions. Everybody's good and spaced out. Everybody's got their masks on. Everybody's just enjoying live football just like we are. I mean, I am so glad to be back. I'm just glad high school got to play.
For sure. What does that do? You know, I think that was the biggest concern is what does that do to these players if you take away these seasons? If you took away Curtis Allen's senior year, what does that do?
Here we go, line them back up. It looks like they're going to run pistol again.
It is 1st and 10 on the 33 with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go of the first quarter.
Nope, he is going under center. It's a fake, rolling to his left, dumps it off.
Nice screen pass.
Great game. Takes the sideline all the way down to what looked to be about the 7. See where they spot it.
That was one of those ones where Hicks thought he could go through him. he pushed right on in.
You know, sometimes you can just lay the wood on somebody and they will just get right out of your way.
That's what I was talking about, though. Dinwiddie is applying so much pressure up the middle that it's opening the door for these screens. I mean, he had a one-on-one that he just had to get through him, and he would have made a house call.
But that sets up great chance to score this for Prince George. Lining up in the pistol again. Takes it straight up the middle.
Keeps it.
And
not calling it yet.
They're not
I think
calling
he might be just short.
I think they're going to make it in inches again. going to be second in inches. He
You're
is
saying
fighting this drive, isn't he?
For sure. I mean, what a long drive. It's 4 minutes off the clock, just this drive alone.
I think it's winding down to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right at 3 minutes left in the quarter. Dinwiddie, Prince George knocking on the door. Winding up in the eye. Takes it once again. See if they can push the pile.
I think they were stopped. I think that's going to push them back a few.
That is a defensive stand right there.
Here Johnson on the carry, no gain. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
You're going to have to fight for it if you want to score on me, is all they just said right there. I mean, that was a wall he ran into.
If you looked at the outsides, there was one corner on each side, and they sent everyone else. Put pressure up the middle everywhere else. Had they had kind of pushed to the left or the right, I think that they would have.
It didn't help either. It looked like every single one of their offensive linemen just got straight stood up. Completely stood up. But let's see what they do right here on 3rd down. Oh, we got
There's a flag. Flag in the backfield.
Flag on the play. It'll be delay a game.
Wow, a delay a game on Prince George. That's
Like
going
we-
to back them up 5.
Like we just said, don't hurt yourself is the biggest thing about a rain game. Penalties. This penalty could change the game.
For sure. I mean, because it just made it from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 6. So it's not as much as you can't just muscle through it this time.
Oh no.
You've got to beat them.
Let's see what they come up with.
Another high snap.
Yeah, I saw that during pregame. And
He's on the outside, and he is
Great.
just short.
great effort by 23 for Dinwiddie.
That'll bring up 4th and goal.
That is open field tackling textbook right there.
For
If I
sure.
could ever show anybody, that's exactly what I would pull up right there.
I think that's going to put them about a 4th and 1.
They're going for it.
Why not? Because worst case, they start in their end zone.
But how easily they moved down the field last time, you hope you can make the defensive stand if you don't get it here.
So here Johnson keeps it and runs to the right. He is
Trying.
gonna be just short. I was mistaken. That was not Tahir Johnson. That was Curtis Allen running into the right.
They did not get there. They walk away with nothing.
Again, I like the call though.
It's early in the
because
game.
It's the beginning of the game. Again, you feel like you can pick it back up. The offense now knows they can move it all the way down the field. They're starting in their end zone. Defense, other than, again, that big pass that set them up for good fieldage, I mean, they held them. Again, it was a 3rd and 11.
That was a hard-fought down to come away with. A hard-fought drive to come
sure.
away with nothing there. I mean, they started all the way back at, I think the 19?
For sure.
You get all the way down to 1, you back up.
QB keep.
I think you got out to about the 10 there. Probably just short of the 10-yard line.
Gain of 9.
That's all you can ask for, though. You know, you just want to give your QB and your running backs a little bit of breathing room. Get
Yeah.
out of that end zone.
Give me some cushion.
Yeah.
Let me not see all of this gridiron in front of me.
Right. Every play isn't designed to be a home run.
It's like that Patriots strategy. Give me 5 yards here and 6 yards there, and I'll take a Super Bowl.
That one does look like it's going to go backwards.
Prince George starting to crank the pressure up now. This is about the time you saw a big pass over the middle.
It's going to look like it's going to be about a 3rd and 4 with 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Let's see if they get a playoff.
Do we know how that's working this year?
Do what?
The playoffs.
Playoffs? No, I do not.
Oh,
Missed pass. That's why you go for it on 4. That's what I believe, because now they're in a punt situation. They're going to punt on 4, and they just had the blocked kick down here on the PAT. So if you could block it again, you're already right there in the end zone. And even if you don't, you're starting on the 50.
And also that we'd like to thank our
So far, good strategy, but it could be 6-3 now. But I'm not gonna.
It could be, but it could have also, just like they had a blocked kick,
Very
and
well.
it could be 6-0, and it was just a turnover and downs for nothing. At least you went for it. At least you gave it a shot.
Gambling early in the first game.
Again, it's the first game of the season. You got to set the tone. Where are you? What do you plan to do this season?
But
Show us now.
even more than regular seasons when you have 10 games. This is only a 6-game season. Every single game matters here now for whatever the playoff situation is going to be.
For sure. I mean, one game is, 1/6 of the season. I mean,
Well, that brings us to the end of the first quarter with Dinwiddie on top, 6-0 still. Looks like we're going to flip fields. We'll flip sides.
I want to give a shout out to everyone listening at home. We are excited that you're here with us, listening to us. We're sorry you can't be here at the game, although sitting on your nice warm couch probably isn't such a bad thing considering this weather, but we do wish you could be here. We're glad you are here. Again, give us a like and subscribe and follow us, and we'll be here all season.
I think that's what you're missing the most is the key element, the fans.
The crowd.
It's the environment, but it's not the full atmosphere.
For sure. It's football without the... When you're in this stadium, I mean, when something would happen, you could just feel the place, the
vibrations,
right.
the place is rocking. High punt makes it, gives a good Dinwiddie bounce. Takes it down to the 46-yard line. Prince George gets to start off in Dinwiddie territory to start off the
great
second
yardage.
quarter.
That's what we're saying. A great starting point. Again, you missed the touchdown opportunity, but you've got another chance. Here you are. You just moved it from the 19, all the way down to the 1-yard line. I mean, although they didn't get it, this offense has got to feel confident.
You got to feel good about pounding your way the entire way. I mean, that was a hard-fought drive, like we said. See what they come out with first time on this first play of the second drive. They threw a pass on the first one. Gonna be a run.
Give it to Allen to the right.
He looks like he gains about 2 or 3 on that play. It's gonna make it second and about 7.
They're calling a 2nd and 8.
I think they just like to argue with me a little bit.
For sure. They just want to say, you know what, Jesse, you thought you knew something. I like the strategy here on the defense for Dinwiddie. They've got kind of a nickel formation where they've got 5 DBs in the back. They're only pushing 3, and between those 5, you never really know what they're going to do. Are they going to apply pressure, or are they going to hang back and try to catch you in the backfield?
Good play to the left. It looks like a gain of about 3. Gonna bring up like a 3rd and 5. Well, a little bit farther. Like I said, they want to argue with me.
This is going to be a 3rd and 3 with about 10 minutes and 23 seconds to go of the half.
They take a run option with Allen, and he gets it. First down, Prince George.
What a run.
Looks like he makes it down. Looks like he makes it to the 25. Knocking on the red zone once again for the Prince George Royals offense.
Again, let's talk about this kid for a second. I mean, 457 rushing yards, 2 of those being 100 plus, or 100 plus games, 3 touchdowns on the season. The kid is going to do what he's
Fighting,
doing right
look
now.
at it.
Doing what he's doing right now.
He's going to get there. Took it to the corner. Touchdown, Prince
What
George.
a run.
Great hard-fought run by Curtis Allen. That brings it up to 6-6. The score is all tied up, waiting on the extra point.
That's what I'm saying. Go for it. You trust your offense, especially when they're gelling like that. You've got Tahir Johnson, who's scrambling just enough to make him dangerous, you know?
I'm curious to see what this second half is going to look like once both defenses start to get winded down a little bit and they're a little bit more tired and you've got these conditions going and they're a little extra cold when you're wet. So I'm really curious to see how all this energy holds up all the way through this game.
I'm curious to see how this kick goes, considering the last kick was blocked by Prince George. I'm wondering, is that just a bad snap, bad hold situation, or is this weather playing into not being able to get the ball set correctly?
Yep. It's probably a little bit slippery, and then you're trying to – it's that first game jitters. It was the first actual one that counted for the season. Maybe we just need to give him a pass on it. We'll see.
Don't let it happen again. I'm just kidding.
Are you?
Oh, man. It's one of those things as the PAT. It's like it's not a given. It's not expected, but it's
wanted.
kind of expected. You know, I mean, nobody ever says like, let's rush down here and get 6. You know, you want the 7.
I've seen plenty of games lost by 1.
For sure, a bunch of them. I mean, that 1 point could come down to it all. Let's say both teams score 3 touchdowns and you just miss that one.
It's going to force you into a 2-point just to at least tie it.
Right.
Or at least
It just puts a lot
win
more
it.
pressure on the situation that if you could avoid.
See what Prince George. They got it off. And it is good. 7-6. Prince George on top of Dinwiddie. We have 10 minutes and 2 seconds left in the second quarter. Waiting to see Dinwiddie's third drive.
I think on this drive, I think you're going to see, again, some strong runs at the start. I think they're going to pull that pass game back in. I think they veered away from it a little bit on that second drive. I think they had to, given the field position they were in, backed up in their own end zone. But I think now that they're going to have a little bit of room, I think you're going to see another deep pass.
Well, they're not going to be able to rely on the deep pass in tonight's game. They're going to love to hit it, and they're going to love to try to do it as many times. I hope they do, but I think tonight's going to be the screen and run game just because of this weather. I mean, it is absolutely nasty outside right now.
It's one of those things as an offense, though, is like where sometimes you get eager and you're like, oh, you just scored on me, I'm going to score right back.
Yep.
And sometimes that brings a lot of confidence and a lot of abilities, and sometimes it brings a lot of arrogance, and you don't know if you can get it.
Oh,
Great special teams play.
brings it out to almost the 45. I think he got out to the 44-yard line. Dinwiddie with some beautiful field position to start their third drive. Looks like they brought in a bigger tight end.
In a game like this, that's what you need. Again, the deep pass is tough to do, but if you could get a quick little
Ooh, false start.
that's going to back them up 5.
It's going to put the ball on probably, the 39, 38.
That puts us at a 1st and 15 on what they're calling the 38.
A little confusion there on that play. I mean, looks like the QB wanted the ball, just the center didn't give it to him. I mean, both people on the left side took off like they were expecting it to be
Right.
on one.
They're like, what? The play started, right? We're on the move. This is happening. What happened?
What do you mean I did something wrong?
You said go. I went.
There we go. He's going to roll out. Great screen. He looked everyone off while that got set up, and that's going to be a first down. to pick up even more by the pile falling forward.
Great pass, great play.
Like you're saying, maybe you need to go back to that pass game.
Right.
It's unexpected right now. It's worked so far for you, except for maybe 1-2 plays.
Yeah, get the pass in, throw them off. You know, you've got to separate that defense a little bit. If you run it the whole time, it's going to keep everybody right there with you.
I think that's what sucks to be a wide receiver. Everybody remembers when you drop one, but nobody ever remembers when the running back gets stopped for a loss.
For sure.
Bobble the snap.
A little QB keep, a little scramble.
Scrambles, slings it wide
Beautiful
open.
pass.
And he takes
Right
it
to the
in.
end zone. And that's what you're talking about. When you score on me, it brings in some confidence. And that receiver was by himself. That safety didn't even know, had no idea that play was ever coming that way.
Dinwiddie relying on the pass game, and it is working. That is going to make it 12-7. Still missing that 1 point, though. It could be 13-7. Let's see if it comes back and haunts them. But right now, that passing game is on fire. I really hope they stick with it. Looks like they're going for it right here.
They're like, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and stop you guys talking right now. Let's go ahead and put it back where it needs to be.
Do it. Just throws it
They
away.
missed it. That's the gamble we're going for, too. I like it. Go ahead and get you back where you need so you don't have to focus on it later. But sometimes it doesn't work. And just like that, I mean, it kind of, I wouldn't say it puts you more in the hole because obviously you're in the lead, but it just kind of gives you that uneasy feeling.
Most definitely. I mean, when you just can't cap off the rest of the entire drive. I mean, you've scored twice and you just can't get what should be the easy points.
Right.
But so far, that passing game is electric, isn't it?
For sure. So that's going to give it back to Prince George with about 9 minutes to go in this half.
See if Prince George can come out and get a little bit more going this drive.
You've got Sidney Rose in the back looking like he's going to be the one expecting this ball.
Yeah, that's a... Sidney Rose graduated there, buddy.
Did I say Sidney
I
Rose?
think you did.
If I said Sidney Rose, I am mistaken. I meant Curtis Allen. I apologize for that. Sidney Rose, if you're watching this at home.
We miss you.
Yeah, we miss you. It was fun watching you last year, but Curtis Allen was the one expecting that ball.
Another guy I missed, and that was my man Morris. That was the passing game guy for me last year.
Because the only receiving yards they were able to get all season really was from Morris. I mean, Morris had, I can't find it on here. I'll find it in a little while, but I think he had of 600 passing yards, I believe he had like 450 of them. You know, I mean, the guy, he was the only receiver that really carried this team last year.
He was your number one, absolutely, no doubt. I mean,
and again, I mean, he was the one that we were talking about a little while ago when he did a double hurdle. He caught the ball on the sideline, ran it up 40 yards, and double hurdled.
Was it him
It's
or
just
Allen?
not, huh?
Was it him or Allen? It might have been him.
It's just not something you see very often
Yeah.
in high school sports.
No, to be that athletic.
Right. So it's going to be a 2nd and 2.
Dinwiddie, Prince George needing a conversion here. Or a fresh set. Great blocking.
Great time for sure.
Ooh! If he held on to that, was a fantastic catch.
That's something to talk about, though, is this Prince George line. I mean, you've got... Where am I at?
Real
here?
quick, while you're looking for that, that was Stephon Hicks. And he even plays a little defense. He even had a good fumble recovery last year for the Prince George Royals.
Yeah, on that offensive line, you've got Jalen Montgomery, who just committed to JMU. You've got Wesley Bostic, who has a offer from ODU. I mean, this O-line is no slouch, and that's what you see right there. I mean, Johnson had plenty of time to kind of move around and figure out where he wanted to put that ball. They just weren't able to come up with it.
A hard-fought first down with a gain of about 4 by Curtis Allen. Yeah, when you got two D1 linemen in front of you, usually running the ball does get a little bit easier.
For sure. Or at least just give you some time to think.
Yeah. We saw plenty of games last year where the line gave the QB note. I mean, they were design plays, every single one, to just roll out. Every single one. And that's no way. No quarterback could ever do an entire game or at least an entire season that way.
For sure. So you've got a 1st and 10 on the 40.
Ooh, with a fumble.
Curtis Allen with a fumble, and it looks like Dinwiddie.
That is Dinwiddie's ball.
Wow, it is. Again, Prince George had one offensive fumble all year last year, and now we're seeing one in the first game.
Like we saying, with these conditions, it is cold. It is a constant rain. I'm seeing the mist falling the entire time. It is wet. It is cold. There's a slight breeze. That's all factors, and he just couldn't keep his hands on the ball there.
We've got Dinwiddie with the ball again on the 38.
Starting out in great field position already in PG territory. Hitting
Beautiful.
one over the middle.
They're like, you know what? You guys said we can't pass in these conditions. I'm going to show you we can.
Came out and immediately threw a first down.
I love it.
I'm going to be quiet.
You know me. I love a passing game. I understand that running is
Gotta
how
pound that rock.
You've got to have it to be able to. You've got to have a good running game to open up the pass. But again, they go for it. They're saying we can throw the ball, and we're going to show you.
And he's sending some good balls out of there too.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10 on the 28 with about 7:41 to go of this first half.
Prince George definitely needs a defensive stand right here. To try to get that ball back into the offense's hands. Dinwiddie looking to go up.
Nice
with
little
a
run to the left.
Great hold, great blocking.
Oh, and he is close. I think he's going to be about a yard shy, but what a run.
Fantastic run. He goes all the way down to the 1 yard line. Not only is that a first down, but you are once again knocking on that door.
But that's the thing, is that if you have a passing game, it opens the door for the run and vice versa. Like at that play right there, you've got Prince George. They're like, all right, they're gonna throw it on us all game, and then here you go, run to the left, and boom, here we are, 1 yard away. I think they're actually calling it 3.
Yeah, it looks like they bumped it back just a little bit. Still fresh set of downs all the way down and deep into enemy territory.
This is where I'd like you to see to get your tight end involved.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Is that a jump?
That couldn't tell if that was false start or encroachment.
It looked like a jump to me on defense.
I think it's encroachment. Offense is pointing. False start.
False start on offense. Man, you get there. You get 3 yards away, and you back yourself up 5.
What we said, don't hurt yourself. Go out here, play a smart and collected game. What'd you tell me earlier? Let's be cool, calm, and collected.
But if I'm the quarterback, I'm walking up to my guys and saying, all right, it's nothing. What? We're backing up 5. We just made it 40. Here we go.
They are streaking down this field. So, I mean, 1 5-yard penalty. I hope that doesn't shake him too bad. And it's going to be a QB keep up the
Right
middle.
up the
And he's
middle for a score.
touchdown Dinwiddie. That is going to make the score 18-7 with 7:25 still left in this second quarter. I don't think they care about that field goal anymore.
I'm curious to see it. Are they going to try to go for the PAT or are they going to go for 2?
It looks like they're going for the PAT. I think, the kicker's
Yeah.
out there getting ready to start.
I think that's the smart move. Up by 11 at this point.
Just take what you can get. You're doing great. Your passing game is electric. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It's 19-7. Dinwiddie came to play ball today.
This is one of those drives for Prince George where it's still so early. There's 7 minutes and 25 seconds, so you want to go into it calm, like, hey, guys, we're just down a little. You know, we've got a
100%.
long ways to go, but this drive means a lot.
This drive means a whole lot. You are down by 12 already in the first half. Still good amount of time still left in this second quarter. You need a score here. You just need one to just have the. You want to keep the emotions
You want to keep
right.
the confidence. You want to keep the emotions going. Like, all right, we're in this. You know.
Because if you play it as we got time. Before you know it, you don't.
Right. And the thing that could work in Prince George's favor here is as we've seen on their last 2 drives, they're hanging on to the ball. You know, they're kind of having these long drives, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But if they can hang on to the ball for a little while, 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the half, they get the ball at the start of the half. So, I mean, you're kind of putting yourself into a situation where you could pick it right back up.
Yep. Ball fell off the tee. Number 23 was coming all the way out to hold it for him. He looked very excited about it. Kick is off.
Good kick on Dinwiddie's side with a little slip.
Great return. Brings it up to what looks to be the 30-yard line. You're Prince George's coach. All you're doing is you're walking up down and going, hey, it happens.
It happens.
Shake that off. Let's
We've
go
been
right
here
back
before.
out there.
We've been here before. This isn't the first time. Won't be the last time. We've got a lot of time. Let's just do what we were doing the first half. Curtis Allen is running great. You know, Headley is catching the ball. Like let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Put that in the back of your head. Eventually it'll fall out. Let's just keep this train moving and try to get back into this ball game. And they go right back to him on the very first play. It looks like he only gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I do think that because you saw it a little bit on that first drive and you didn't see it as much on the second drive, I do think just as Dinwiddie did on their last drive, they're going to have to pass the ball. They're going to have to open that defense up a little bit. Again,
Even
Allen
if it's
is
small dump offs,
Right.
just right over the middle, to the right. I mean, screens. I mean, they have shown that they can do it.
Again, if you watch this defense is having hard pressure right up the middle. You scoop on either side, I mean, you might be able to open it up a little bit.
DB's giving plenty of cushion, and it's going to be a pass. Right over the
Beautiful.
middle. Great catch. That's a first down for Prince George, which is going to bring the ball up to what looks to be around the 43-yard line.
That's what you're saying. You've got to open them up a little bit.
I think they're going to give him the 44. But like you're just saying, now you've hit something over the middle. Now they have to drop somebody back to cover that zone.
They're like, hey, we don't want you to do that to us again.
Yeah, please don't
you gotta
cover
kind of
that.
have a guy to make sure that doesn't happen.
Middle linebacker needs to recognize that. He needs to see it and then back out of there.
But look at him. He's kind of hanging tight. He stayed and watched.
And they've crossed over into Dinwiddie territory with that.
That middle linebacker just got a little antsy. I think he was like, I'm gonna hang back a little bit, and then he got a little excited when he saw the running back coming. If he had stayed where he was at, I think he would have caught him. He probably would have gotten a 2-yard gain, but he tried to go get him and just missed him.
Yep. Sometimes being overzealous isn't the best thing, but that was a gain of 6 for Prince George, and they've crossed over into Dinwiddie territory. 2nd down. Handoff to the right. And he's trying to get back to that line of scrimmage, but I think he lost a yard or 2 on that one.
I think he's going to lose about 1 on that one.
It's going to make it 3rd and 5. Right at the 50. Clock winded down to just over 5 minutes left in this first half.
Back for a shotgun, deep pass up the middle, and he has just overshot him a little bit. Good effort. Had that receiver.
I mean, he was 2 yards out.
2 yards from having a big gain.
2 yards out from doing the same thing Dinwiddie did to you on the very first drive of the game. I mean, if that's not a way to say, hey, we can do it too.
For sure.
But like I said, if you can just tune that in just a little bit more, that's going to back that defense up, and it's going to open up better holes for Curtis Allen to try to pound through.
Looks like they're going to punt it away. 4th and 6 on the 50. About 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go. There is a timeout for Prince George. Interesting strategy to take your 3rd and final with 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the half.
Especially when you're punting the ball. The only thing I didn't see was the clock winding down, game clock winding down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was happening there.
That makes me wonder, are we running a fake here? Do we got to re-talk about it? Or?
But if you're running the fake, do you call the timeout? You know, I mean, it's just like, hey, guys, give us a second to sort this out.
Yeah, hold on, wait a minute. Some of us are still confused. Not saying that's actually what's happening. We're just joking up here, but... Prince George lining up in the punt formation. Ball is on the 50.
Defense backs up.
Punt safe.
Yeah, playing a little safe. Like, let's just see.
Punt safe. Ooh.
No fair catch called, and he's going to regret that one. He took a big hit.
Uh-oh.
Looks like emotions are running high already. I mean, I think it was just a little bit of a misjudgment. I think there should have been a fair catch called there, but
definitely, because they were working on a personal foul penalties that they were working on. But at least he held on to the ball, so it gives your team to come out here. You got 4.5 minutes left in this opening. You're up 12. You can breathe right now, and you can try to march down this field. I mean, they're doing it fast. I mean, the first drive they got down there in less than 4 minutes.
That's the funny thing about this game so far is that although the score is pretty lopsided right now at 19-7,
time of possession's not lopsided.
Time of possession, it really leans toward Prince George.
Yeah.
Prince George is holding the ball way longer than Dinwiddie is, and another screen pass for a big
Beautiful
gain.
screen down the right sideline. Huge first down, brings it all the way to the 45, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock at 4:22.
I just don't think this defense knows what's hitting them right now. I just think that, you know, they're running, they're passing, they're screening, they're hitting you over the middle, they're throwing it deep, and it's like this Prince George defense is like, where did we go?
Dinwiddie came out like it was a 65-degree day and beautiful outside. I mean, they don't care if there's a little bit of rain, they're wet, they're cold. I mean, it's football to them right now. I love it. couple of hard hits, but he gets about 2 yards there. So we got an injured general on the field.
Like we were just saying, Prince George has held this ball for 13 minutes and 11 seconds, where Dinwiddie's only held the ball for 6 minutes.
And the score's 19-7, Dinwiddie on top. They came in with a strategy, and they are steamrolling this field right now.
They're just attacking hard. They're saying, hey, like, we just want to get down the field. You know, let's put defense back out there.
Oh, we got an injury on the field. Please, seriously, go like and subscribe us. Stick with us all this little short season. We know it's only 6 games, but we will be at all of the home ones. So if you are a Prince George fan, please stick with us this season. Like and subscribe so you can get all the updates.
Aren't you just glad we're here? You know, for you guys listening to it was such uncertainty if we were even going to be able to be here, you know, just due to COVID and due to restrictions on how many people can be in the stadium. We got the call on Wednesday that we were able to be here, and with such short notice, we decided that, you know, for you guys listening at home, we wanted to be able to give you something. You know, I know that I'd want to watch it. I know that I wouldn't want to miss the game, so we wanted to make sure that, you know, you guys were able to watch, and we're just excited to even be able to be here in the box.
We are real sorry that you couldn't be here, but we are very, very glad that you can at least join us, and that we can provide you the game with a quick pass to the right. It looks like it's going to be another loss.
That's the thing about Prince George's defense, though, is they are strong. They are fast. They can hit you hard.
We got Curtis Allen checking in on defense. See where he lines up on. Is he playing edge?
He looks like he's playing edge.
Coming out of there fast, dude, put pressure on the quarterback. He was scrambling to his left, looking for something, and just takes it out of bounds for what looks to be a gain of half a yard. And
that was a hard hit.
That should honestly be a flag, in my opinion. I mean, he was going out. That's how people get hurt.
I guess you just want to ensure he gets out, but I agree. I mean, it looked a little low, and I don't know. But I'm also a fan of let them play, you know, and with there only being 2 flags so far this game, and both of them being false starts, I like the mentality of it's the first game of the year. It's the first. All right, I spoke a little soon. Here's the flag. Speak it, and it will come true.
If you build
See what this flag is on. Holding on the general, so that's going to back. I would imagine you decline because you just want it to be 4th down. You don't want to give them another shot, even if it's backing them up 5.
Even if it's 3rd and 20, they don't even want to give it to them. You know,
because they're going to just throw it down the field. They're going to be like, all right, cool, we'll just throw it 40 yards. Here we go. Catch this one.
They are coming out in pump formation, though. It looks they have a safe pump block. I mean, look at all the protection he's got in there.
He needed it, though. I mean, they still almost got by. Whoa.
Great Dinwiddie bounce on that. What a stare off. Right at the 5-yard line. First and 10 Royals. We do have 2 minutes and 45 seconds still left in this first half. 7-19. Dinwiddie still very much on top by 12. See if Prince George can come out and do something on this one.
Again, you're talking about needing a drive, you need this drive. And starting on the 5
With
isn't
half the time
where
you
you
had.
want to go.
Yep. That's a long drive ahead of you. Look at all this field.
Well, especially if you're just going to run it. You know, I mean, it's one of them things. You got 95 yards ahead of you. Pass it.
I would say so.
Hit them on a screen. You've got 2 receivers on this right side. They run it up the middle. Run it to the left.
His key here is getting out of bounds. You have no timeouts.
You have no timeouts, but like now you started on 1st and 5, and it's going to be 1st and 3. They started on the 5. They backed up 2, so now they're going to be on the 3. So it's going to be a 2nd and 12.
Clock's still ticking.
Yeah. So if you watch on this far side over here on our side,
Okay.
there was 2 receivers. There was only 1 corner. Hattie had just passed it that way, and one of them caught it.
Sending it. 17.
Woo!
Catches it right over the middle.
That's what I'm saying. These
That is
corners,
Patrick Lockett.
Patrick Lockett. These corners are not expecting it. Watch these corners. Maybe they will now that they're starting to open it up a little bit. That corner stayed still. The receiver cut up 5-6 yards and then had a slant into the middle. That's where he caught him. And that corner was still standing over there on the sideline.
It was like I was saying earlier, that middle linebacker has to recognize that zone. He has to. When you're middle linebacker.
But they're too busy pressuring. They're too busy rushing.
Yep. Middle linebacker is one of the funnest positions you can play on defense. I mean, you see everything. Everything's right in front of you. You get to it's one of the funnest spots. Seriously,
For
it
sure.
is. But you have to pick up your zone. When that guy cuts over the middle, I mean, it's the DB. If you're playing zone, he's not going there. I mean,
It is 2nd and 3rd with 1:20 to go. Clock still ticking. They've got a long ways to go with no timeouts.
empty backfield, shotgun formation.
And a sack.
That's
is
going to be
not
a
what you
sack.
want.
That's going to bring up 3rd and long with the clock going under a minute now.
So here Johnson, I guess, is trying to take some advice from the coach, but they really need to be getting in formation. They need to be figuring out what they're doing. They've got 50 seconds and ticking, and they've got a long ways to go. I mean, it's 3rd and 3 on the 32.
He's in no hurry.
No, I mean, you got, 68 yards? 3rd and 7. Sorry.
They've had about 30 seconds tick off.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's down to 3rd and 7 with 30 seconds clock ticking.
lining up in single back formation
And
then
you
hand it
run
off.
it up the middle.
I think they're just trying to go into halftime at this point.
Yeah,
Curtis
I
Allen
guess
loses
that's
yards.
I wouldn't have that mentality. I would try, again, especially with you getting the ball back.
Dinwiddie just called a timeout with 13 seconds left in the first half.
You know what, Prince George? We're going to give you a redo.
Actually, we want you to give us the ball, is what they're saying.
Wow.
It's exactly what they're saying with 13 seconds left. Like, you know what? Our passing game is on fire. We're streaming down this field in no time.
I mean, it's one of those.
Let's see if we can do it in 13.
Let's just throw it deep just for the fun
Let's
of
see if we
it.
can do it in 13.
So with 13 seconds left, it's a 4th and 7, likely punt situation. They're going to punt it off to Dinwiddie. We may get a playoff there. When it hits halftime, we are going to take a short break. Stay with us. Get some food. Get your drinks.
You can
Come
get off
back.
the couch for a little bit. Not
Yep.
long. Just get off. Get that heart moving a little bit.
We will be back after half in about 15 minutes. But first, we've got these 13 seconds.
I want to see what Dinwiddie wants to do here. They called a timeout.
What I think is going to happen is they're going to kick this punt. They're going to try to get as much yardage as they can. They're going to.
Great recovery off the bounce too.
That gives them 4 seconds.
Starting on the enemy's 45. We've seen them hit 40-yard bunt. I'm telling you, this can happen.
It's a one-shot deal.
It's a one shot, 1,000%. But
Had they had 6 more seconds, they could try to make a long pass call a timeout on the 1-2 seconds and try to kick a field goal. But I think at this point it's a one-shot deal. You're going to just throw it deep and see what happens. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't.
I for the sake of me watching live football right now, I want to see it.
Me too.
I really do. I mean, because for you to come into
Or just take the shot. Take the
someone
chance.
else's house and in the first half call a timeout with 13 seconds left,
Wow.
and he almost hooked up. Ooh,
There is a flag.
that's against PG. We got an interesting situation here.
If that is a pass interference, that's going to be spot of the foul. They're going to give them a second left, and that sets them up for field goal range.
The only thing I don't know about is if it is spot foul in high school or if it's 15 yards. That's
You might be right. It might be 15 yards.
trying to keep
But
up with
even
high
so-
school, pee-wee, college, and professional. I'm working on it over here.
It is on the Royals.
That's going to be a dead clock. I mean, this is just a free play. This is going to be a free play from the 20.
So do you go for it, or do you
Yes.
try to kick a field goal?
No, you go for it.
Go for
You
it.
absolutely go for it. You're up by 12. It's a free play.
Royals 30-yard line.
When they're at the 30, I think I got that right. I mean, this is just a small kick in the gut to Prince George.
For sure. I mean, this is one of those during half times, the coach is going to have to sit them all down and say, we're still very much in it.
Oh, you're in it.
We're down, but we're not out.
That rain is coming down right now. Here we go. Free play. Rolls to his left. Escapes somebody. Slings it. Touchdown! Oh my God.
Wow.
Dinwiddie just did that. They called a timeout with 13 seconds left on PG's
cannot
fourth
believe
down.
that. I believe there's a flag.
Oh.
I think that's going to come back.
Let's see.
I think he threw the ball over the line of scrimmage.
They're bringing it back. This is going to be
Told
two dead clock plays.
Wow. I don't know that I've ever seen two plays with the clock being 0.
I mean, this is already, I'm just going to say, it's awesome. I mean,
Wow.
you're in somebody else's stadium. You call timeout on their fourth down in the first half with 13 seconds left. You get the punt. You run it all the way into their territory on the 45. Then you get – hold on. I'm trying to get all my breath here. You try to hit a pass. You get a pass interference. You get a free play. You go to do it again, and it looks like they're calling it. So
Yep, they're just gonna call it a half.
I
So
don't-
with that,
Go ahead.
we're gonna take a quick break. Like I said, grab you some food, grab you some drink, come back. This game is not over. Prince George is gonna come back. I believe they're gonna have the ball to start the
They are.
half. So come back, hang out with us. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back.
Do you have a printer, brother?
Yep, I got you.
Can you give me a copy of your roster?
We are back for the second half of what's been an exciting game. You know, the score is a little off at 19-7 for Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie being up 19, Prince George obviously having 7. But I tell you, it's been a fun game. We kind of anticipated this sloppy run type slip ball, you know, kind of battle, and it really hasn't been that at all. I mean,
well, to talk, Prince George's rushing is on fire. They have got the ground game going. I mean, Curtis Allen is just shy of 100 yards in the first half with 96. The man is shaping up to be real close to a 200-yard game if they stay with the scheme and the blocking keeps up. I mean, that is just really impressive. Then you got Tahir Johnson right behind him helping out. A quarterback with 20 rushing yards. I mean, that is just that's great help. You know, I mean, that is just fantastic help. And, yeah, I mean, what you got is a touchdown from Curtis Allen. I mean, the one and only. I mean, the ground game is obviously working, but tell me about that passing game for Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie's passing game is on fire. I mean, he's 7 for 9. Brenton Hilton is his name. He's 7 for 9, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, his longest bomb was that first one at the beginning at 51 yards, 0 sacks. I mean, you flip over to Prince George's passing game. Tahir Johnson is 6 for 9, 88 yards, and his long is 25, and he's also taken a sack.
No touchdowns.
No touchdowns. I mean, he's got a couple of people getting open, like Stephon Hicks. He's got 2 receptions, 44 yards. You know, you've got Lee Peterson, who's caught it 1 time for 22 yards. So it's when they do connect, they're making something happen. It's just they're not connecting as well as Dinwiddie is.
And with Dinwiddie, you got, I mean, their rushing is not as much, but they're spreading it out between definitely 3 players and definitely more so 2 between Brenton Hilton is their rushing leader right now with 28 yards.
Whoa.
3 more than Cedar. What we have? What happened?
Yeah, it looked like a little squid kick to the left side. So that's going to give Prince George great fieldage right at the beginning. It's going to put them on about the 47 to start the half. This is the tone setter right here. You want to come out and score on this drive. You're still going to be down, but you'll be a lot more in. You know, being down 12 isn't a comfortable feeling.
You're in a new half. Your coach done talked to you, said, look, let's get them jitters out. We know what we've done wrong. Let's go out here. Let's correct the mistakes. Let's keep our ball. Let's keep control of the ball. And let's just stay true to ourselves, which is what they're doing. They're going to run it to the right. From what I've always seen is their scheme is we're going to run it at you. I mean, and we're going to get, I mean, for just talking about it, Curtis Allen is averaging 6.3 yards a carry.
That's a long ways.
That's, I mean, 2 runs and it's a first down. So,
right.
I mean, you come out here and you just keep pounding it, but the only thing is you're using so much time, and then Dinwiddie's going to come out here and hit you with 4 passes, and they're already knocking on the door.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. What we were talking about before, I mean, time of possession, the Royals have had it for 15 minutes and 53 seconds of this game. Prince George has had it for 15 minutes, and Dinwiddie's only had it for 8. But they're just making better use of that time.
They are. I mean, on 3 scoring drives, I mean, all their scoring drives came with the great mixture of passing it.
Right. The only drive that they've had that they didn't score on was a sole run drive.
Yep. If you can just make them go hand in hand and have a good marriage between your run and pass game, as you can see, they're not, I mean, absolutely manhandling Prince George, but I mean, they've got 12 points on them. They're cruising.
Yeah. You're in a spot to be a little more comfortable than you could if the roles are reversed.
And like you said, literally half the time of possession.
Yeah.
That's just great execution.
They do pass it, and it is a drop pass.
A little quick pass. He needs a good connection to be able to trust himself a little bit farther here. You've got to get that passing game going on the Prince George side.
That's the thing with Tahir Johnson is that he's great at that scramble, like getting out of the pressure, you know. it's just, we saw a little earlier, just he overshot his guy by 3-4 yards right there. He overshot his guy by 2 yards. It's just during that scramble being able to calm down and get that throw off. See right there, I mean, getting the scramble off and even being able to get the throw off. I mean, he didn't get a completion, but I mean, he was able to get out of that pressure without taking a big sack.
He's not getting, I mean, he needs help from his O-line, but I mean, the biggest things when it comes to throwing the ball is you've got to get your feet set and you got to get square. I mean,
there is a flag on the play.
He can't right now. Where's the flag? Let's see what we got. It's beyond Dinwiddie.
Intentional grounding on Prince George.
That's a big pocket is all I'm going to say. He rolled pretty.
Tahir Johnson is limping off the field. I think he took a big hit there.
I think he caught it from 2 different players too, so I think he got hit a little high and a little low. I mean, when you're running for your life, you just hope it never catches up with you, and then you've got to get that man some better protection.
See where they spot him. Wow. So it's 3rd and 28, which if you give them a 10-yard penalty right there, that's 4 penalties and giving them 35 yards and lost yards and a fumble loss.
That is not what Devontae Lee needed on his first snap at quarterback. He came in, he looked confident for a couple of seconds, but that was just...
I just don't ever think he had good control of the ball. I mean, if you see, it's not even like really anything was happening. He just kind of dropped it. I just don't think he had any good control of the ball, and Dinwiddie was able to come up with it. And you can see the players from Prince George walking off, swinging helmets. I think the morale is bad, and I think Tahir Johnson going down doesn't help that. You gotta hope that he's able to come back, because now, especially off of a fumble loss on your first snap, you get shook a little bit. Now you've got Dinwiddie knocking on your door, already on the 40-yard line.
Already starting out in once again your territory. I mean, when you've got 40 yards behind you every time you come up to a new drive, I mean, it's already like, I mean, can we get a little bit more out?
Already up by 12. Britton Hilton is going to keep the ball and make it a couple out of it.
Made great moves right there. It looked like a gain of about 3.
I think he was doing his check down, looking for somebody, and there just wasn't anybody open.
I tell you, as a second-year quarterback, he is showing some talent tonight.
For sure. I mean, let's talk about him last year. Last year, as a first-year starter, he had 1,352 yards. That is a long ways. I mean, his average completion was 13 yards a throw. That's insane. He threw
That's a fumble.
Whoa.
Prince George dove on it quick. Let's see.
Prince George says
and they got it. They got it right back.
What a game. What a game for us
awesome.
to come back to.
Oh, my God. I mean, this is giving you everything. It's giving you great runs. It's giving you great passes. You're getting defenses just going out there and getting the ball back. I mean, it's...
So we keep saying the
Are
name
you not
Curtis
entertained?
Allen. We keep saying the name Curtis Allen. Let's talk about little brother Chris Allen.
Let's hear
He's
it.
the one who just made that forced fumble and was able to turn the ball back over into their hands.
And that is a spark that you need.
For
that
sure.
could be the spark that makes this offense to roll down the field. It's just an emotional booster right there to be able to go back and say, no, that's my daggone ball. Give it back.
You've got Tahir Johnson back on the field. They're starting on the 37. They're going to give it to Allen to run to the left side with some room to run, and plows right through.
For a first down, beautiful run to the left by Curtis Allen. That's going to move the ball, what I think to be about the... Did they put it on the 50? Right on the 50-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Royals. Like I said, might just be a spark.
I was mistaken, by the way. Chris Allen is big brother. Curtis Allen is little brother. I apologize. Allen family, I apologize.
QB keep, design QB keep, and he is rolling.
That's Curtis Allen. I think they
break.
did a direct snap. They had, if you watch that play at the very beginning, Tahir was acting like he was going to take the ball, stepped just to the right, and did a direct snap to Curtis Allen. He was able to keep it and run it up the left side.
That was a 40-yard gain for Curtis Allen. If you want to go ahead and tack that on to his other yards he's already been doing, I mean, the man is shaping up to have a beautiful game today.
I mean, that 40 yards on top of the 96 he already had, I mean, we're already well over 130 yards at this point.
That set them up with beautiful field position, already knocking right there once again in this here second half. Like I said, sometimes you just need a spark from your defense. Your defense can just help. I mean, just momentum just here.
All right.
They've marched it all the way down to the 9-yard line.
Prince George calls another timeout, which is a real head scratcher to me. because
First and goal on a big roll like that. You keep it rolling.
Keep the momentum moving, and it's curious to me because on the last drive, had they had a couple of timeouts, it wouldn't have been such a pressure situation.
You just called a timeout coming right back out of halftime. I don't think it's been 3 minutes.
It hasn't. We're at 1st and 7, 9 minutes and 17 seconds.
Prince George just seems a little disorganized, but
This is one of those situations where you got to call 2, 3, 4 plays at a time. You know, like, hey, if you're able to make it, boom, hit him right back. Because when you got Curtis Allen pull a direct snap like that, run it all the way up, it just feels like a momentum killer.
it just sucks the air out of your sails just a little bit. Yeah, you've got the energy on your side, but at the same time, you want to steamroll it a little bit. I mean, 7 yards out, and it was first. I mean, you take first down.
Right.
You take first down. You don't call a timeout on first. I mean, it's you move it again to just see if you can punch it in with the momentum.
Yeah, see what happened. I mean, give it back to Allen. You know, run the exact same play again.
You know he wanted it. You know he wanted it.
And if it doesn't work and you need to regroup, call that timeout for second down.
Goodness. I mean, that was a no call on that false start. It looks like he punches it up to about the 5, which is going to be a gain of 2. Still second and goal. Ticking down to 9 seconds left in this third quarter. Curtis Allen coming to the sidelines, which is probably a little bit of a bummer for him to get you all the way down there.
Yeah, run. They're probably going to do a pass right here. If I had to guess, going to false start.
Another false start. Like we say, and penalties are going to be the ones that are going to kill you right now.
Gosh,
I mean,
because that takes it back from the 2nd and 5 to a 2nd and 10. They've already hurt themselves for 35 yards, tack on another 5. I mean, that's 40 yards in penalties. 4 minutes into the second half.
Yep. And it's just not what you want to do, especially down in the red zone where all of their penalties have come from. I mean,
watch, they're going to motion to the right. I bet you they pass it to that receiver on the top right. Watch him. Told you, there he goes. And now they didn't get it. They're going to get Curtis Allen to come back out there to try to power through.
Brad, you can to a T. You just did that to a T.
I'm telling you.
To a.
I know this offense. Motion to the right. You saw that little step with the left foot. Motion to the right. Once he got up there, they assumed that he was going to be open. They've had a lot of pressure up the middle. That corner was just able to stop him where he needed to.
I think it was you just saw Romo get paid a big deal to talk on TV, and you just wanted to copy it a little bit. So.
Romo, if you're listening, I'm looking for a job.
And that's going to be another loss.
Wow, big loss.
Where'd the momentum go? In that timeout.
Wow.
Which is going to bring up 4th down.
It's going to be 4th and probably 7.
I think it's a little farther than that.
Clock's still ticking. Just under 7 minutes to go of the third quarter. Looks like they're going to go for it again. guess they're saying this is a must score situation, which
What's 3 to go to the goal, but
I'm curious on it because where they're down that extra point, if they kick the field goal here, put it at 10-19, I mean,
rolls to his left.
nope.
And just can't get out of it. That's going to be another turnover.
Stops again. Turnover on downs. It's going to give Dinwiddie the ball. Dinwiddie is all the way backed up into their end zone. And last time we saw Dinwiddie in this situation, they couldn't really get out of it. So yeah, I think Prince George is hopeful that they'll be able to do the same. Keep them pressured down into their own end zone. They're going to have to punt it off, put them into like the 50-yard line again, and at least they're getting the ball back with good yardage.
The last time they started out down here this deep, though, and they didn't get anything going, they were only running the ball. Maybe they might have learned from their mistakes, and they're going to hit you over the middle real quick. Nope.
Nope, he's going to run it right up the middle because that's the thing. That's the scary part about being down in that situation. When you're a quarterback and you're within yards of your own end zone, you're just trying to create some separation. And that trying to create that sometimes creeps in with a little bit of anxiety, and you're just trying to make a play happen rather than being able to calm down, think it through. You know, you just don't want to take that sack. You don't want to take that safety.
But at the same time, it's also really expected to run right there on first down. I mean,
and then they take the safety, and it looks like, wow. See, beautiful for Prince George because that puts them 10 down. That puts it to a 9-19 game, which is still a 2-score possession, but it's only a touchdown and a field goal.
that's if you can come back out here and re-stop them again like that. But that is another thing what they needed. They come out, they got that forced fumble back, and ever since then, that team has had some energy in it now. Like I said, sometimes you need that spark from your defense to fuel that offense.
That's the thing that we haven't talked about much tonight, just off the fact that, you know, the game has been kind of lopsided up until this point. But we forget the defense is what took Prince George all the way to the playoffs last year.
Yep. I mean, they have 3 tackles for a loss in the first half. I mean, if that ain't a sign your defense is coming a little bit.
It's interesting, too, if you look at, although Dinwiddie is up, the Royals have been better on third down. They got a third down there, which made them 5 for 8. Dinwiddie they're now 2 for 5.
Well, let me take you all the way back to that first drive by Prince George where they probably got almost all of those third down conversions there. They started all the way back just past their 20, and they got all the way down in increments all the way down to the 1. They ended up getting a flag and backing them up to the 6, and that is a good catch.
Oh, he tried to run right through him, and I think he's going to regret hitting that hard, but good effort.
Did get a couple extra yards just out of it. He got it up to about the 47, and that's going to make it 1st and 10 for the Royals, 3 yards out of enemy territory.
That when you're talking about a momentum shift, you're talking about just a change in mindset. Turnover on downs, immediately catch a safety, you know, make the score a 2-possession game, you know, a 10-point game, sorry. And
10-possession game.
Did I say 10 possession?
I don't know if you did or not, but
I don't know what
for some
I said.
reason that popped in my head, and that would be horrible to look at. But
I'm excited at this point. I mean, he's trying his best to get it all the way out of bounds. I think he's going to get about 5 out of that.
Hard-fought 5 yards, too.
I'm pretty sure he had everybody on the defense on his back.
It looked like a dog pile, just wanting to just come on over to the sidelines.
Like, go down.
I'm getting pushed from all sides, and you don't know which way to fall.
He's like, I don't know how to fall. You guys are everywhere around me.
I'm not getting stampeded. It's just not happening. It is definitely weather like today where I'm just glad I'm in the box.
You glad you're up here and not down there?
I'm really glad I'm in the box today.
So it's 2nd and 5 on the 48. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Time still ticking. Johnson is going to keep the ball, toss it out to the middle.
What a
85.
What a strike. He threw that back across his body behind him, and it was perfectly on target. That is one of them passes like I was talking about earlier where you need that confidence. Him rolling out so hard and fast to his right to be able to correct it all the way back to his left and catch a man in the middle on target, on point. I mean, great pass.
For sure. For
Great
sure.
pass.
It's all you could ask for.
That's going to make him first. That's going to give him a brand new set of downs all the way into what looks to be the 35. Might be wrong. 45.
About the
35.
Or
35.
is it 35?
They did not paint them numbers very good.
I mean, this downpour we've been having doesn't help for sure. They're going to motion to the left.
What a run.
Curtis Allen trying. He's going to end up ultimately
go.
going backwards.
If you keep fighting, they're going to spot you back there.
And that's what I think is going to happen. I think he just took about a 8-yard loss there.
They're going to march it back. Yeah, they gave him forward progress
Wow.
there.
I am surprised. There is a PG player down.
That is Jalen Montgomery.
Wow. That is not what you want to see after just signing with JMU.
I can see why JMU wanted him. I mean, 6'5", over 300 pounds. I mean, he is a hoss on that
sure.
line.
I mean, again, we were talking about a little while ago about Tahir Johnson being able to have time to think a little and, opening the line up for Curtis Allen to run. I mean, that's Jalen Montgomery. I mean, that he's one of their key offensive linemen that are allowing Curtis Allen to open it up the way he is.
Not enough credit ever goes to the men in the trenches. I'm telling you. I mean, the trenches is what can make or break a game from the get-go, and you need your star, one of your star linemen. And I love that he is getting up and walking, jogging off with under his own power. That is great.
I mean, when you're a college and you're looking at these players, that's what you're looking at. One of the things that I talk about all the time is you can have natural talents, you can have natural abilities, you can be fast, you can throw the ball hard. But where's your dog?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it? Do you have the heart?
Everybody needs a little dog when you're going to be successful in this one. You got to want it. You got to be hungry.
Hats off to him. Hopefully he can come back out in this game. Got Tahir Johnson with the shotgun, motion to the left again. Do a fake handoff. Again with the pressure. He's going to hang on to it and run it up for a big gain.
He wanted to come get that sideline. That's a fumble.
There's a fumble. They're going to say dropped. Oh, wow. They're going to say Dinwiddie ball.
Dinwiddie once again with a fumble recovery.
That is the third fumble and third loss of this game for Prince George.
Do you think Prince George is going to come out and get it back again?
I think that's their hope, but that's just such a momentum killer. You get the turnover on downs, you end up getting the safety, you end up getting a big plays just to turn it over again, man.
Conditions definitely playing a factor in tonight's game.
Dinwiddie has called a timeout. With that, please, anybody listening, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We are going to be here every home game. We're going to be here for Prince George Sports. We're going to try our best to make it to Colonial Heights and Petersburg for week 3 and week 5 for Prince George's away games. It's up in the air. Follow us, like us. We will let you know as we know more, but what we know right now is we will be here for every home game. That is next week at 7 o'clock against Matoaka. We'll be right here. So with that is going to be a turnover. Dinwiddie ball, 1st and 10 on the 25. Dinwiddie is up 19-9 with 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go of the third quarter.
Bet you it's pass.
Look, he's motion. Oh,
Ooh.
he did get a good little run. Looks like he's going to get about 8 out of it. Or about 5.
Which brings up 2nd down. Clock winding down to 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Still 9-19 with Dinwiddie on top.
Look at this pressure that Prince George is giving.
And he escapes it, gets back to the line, but he doesn't get much farther than that.
I think he might go back one. There is another flag on the play.
It's been a
I
pretty
think that's going to
decorated
be a jump on PG. Oh. Holding on offense.
game. It's going to back him up.
That'll be their 3rd penalty. 15 yards lost out of it. What I like is that although there is not a whole lot of people in this crowd, the crowd that's here, they're cold, they're wet, but they are excited. People are screaming for their defense. People are screaming for a play. It just shows that the love of the game, man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've got to sit 10 feet apart. It doesn't matter if you've got to wear a face mask and sit in the rain in the winter. It doesn't matter. We like just being here for the game.
I'd love to catch pneumonia at a football game.
If I can keep the pneumonia away, I think that's a better plan, but
Another hard-fought run.
that was a 2nd and 15. Got the run. It looks like they might have gained a 1, maybe 2 yards. Gain of about 3. That's going to take it to a 3rd and 12 with 1:40 on the clock still ticking. This comes back to who converts on 3rd.
They
Is
gotta put it in the
Dinwiddie
air.
going to be able to convert on 3rd backed up?
They've got to put it in the air.
And they
And
are.
they are. Putting it right in Brenton's hands. Ooh!
Big sack!
That's a...
Wow, that was actually, I think they're going to say, an incomplete pass. As he was going down, he took a risky shot at a receiver. It bounced off the ground into his hands. I mean, it was close.
You don't want to take a loss, but you also don't want to just put one up there for a gamble like
That's
that
a
at the same
gamble
time.
because had he had overshot him a little, that corner would have gotten it. And now you're talking about getting the ball on the 23.
That play reminded me, it was Ryan Fitzpatrick back got his head ripped off for the Dolphins this past year, and he
just-
actually got the play lift off.
Just tossed it. Really high punt. It's going to drop right on about the 46.
Not a very good punt.
I almost did it, Jesse. I almost said 54. I didn't do it. You guys at home? I didn't do it.
Oh, it'll come. It'll come. That 51 is going to haunt you forever.
Just follow us for the year. Get a
Yep.
good laugh. Whenever I do it, just call me out on social media like you always do. And I'll learn from my mistakes. Or I won't. I don't know. You can keep making fun of me. We'll see.
I'm going to put money on you're going to say 51 or something like that at some point this. I think you gave it to me twice last season, and
You
it
know
was
what?
great both times.
It is what it is. Right now we are 1st and 10 on the 47 and just over a minute to go. Tahir Johnson's going to step back for a pass.
Immediate pressure in his face. Gets the ball off just high. The receiver didn't look like he was all the way expecting it. And that was Stephon Hicks. Once again, they weren't able to connect.
We've got 1:02 of the third quarter. Still 9-19. Dinwiddie Generals up. Curtis Allen has a big run up the middle.
Right side. Curtis Allen. Good game of
I
play.
think they're going to give him about 7 on that. Maybe 8. 3rd and 2.
Coming to the end of the third quarter here, 40 seconds left.
I think they'll get another playoff.
Oh, they'll definitely.
Yep, here we go. I think they're going to go for a pass here. I think they're going to try to catch him off guard. Nope. Curtis
Handoff
Allen's
right
going to
middle.
run it up the middle.
Curtis Allen carries the ball.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it by about 2 yards.
First down, Royals. Brings up a fresh set of downs. Clock winding down to 15 left.
30-yard line.
While they're trying to sort out the pile here. I think that's another injury timeout we have
Somebody is down.
for the Royals.
I can't see who that is.
I can't see anything either.
I think that, I don't want to misspeak, but I think that might be Allen.
Oh, they're checking on Allen. Looks like it, yep.
Offense is coming back to speak with the coordinator. Allen's going to have to come out for at least a game, or at least a play. We'll see what happens, where Allen ends up fitting back into this. But right now, offensive coordinator is going to talk to the team of like, hey, we might not have him, so what is our game plan now? Who are we getting involved? Are we going to be able to pass it? Johnson can't do it all. I mean, Johnson, he's trying, but he's got to have another guy.
Curtis Allen was definitely that guy for him. Having a monster game so far too.
I mean, with that, he's got to be over 165 yards at this point. 25 carries and 178 yards. I mean, 22 yards shy of a 200-yard game.
And we haven't even got out of the third quarter yet.
This is. While we sort through this, we want to say thank you again. We're happy you guys are here with us. We have a lot of fun doing this. It's something that, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys, again, with it being such an off COVID year, and especially with now NFL, college, all that being over, we've got something to look forward to.
They've got him up.
They've got him up. He is limping off.
Getting help from some of his teammates. Really unfortunate.
Yep. He's not putting any pressure on that left leg. I hate to say it, but I think he's done for tonight.
The leading rusher of the game, leading rusher of last season. Fantastic
At this
player.
point, what we can hope for to Curtis Allen and to family is that we hope that it's just a tweak. We hope first game of the season, and I know he's had a good game and all of that, but that's we got to worry about his well-being first and foremost, and hopefully it's nothing serious.
I mean, everything you hear, he's just a great kid.
We are back, 1st and 10 on the 34, clock ticking, 8 seconds to go. Johnson steps back.
Puts
for a
it deep.
Pass.
Slips up, and that's an
Into
interception.
Interception right on the 1-yard line. The Generals are going to take that back. That is the first interception of the season.
That was Michael Rhodes for the
Wow.
Dinwiddie Generals. I mean, Thank you.
that receiver just lost his footing. He got into the end zone, lost his footing, slipped up there, and that safety was just like, "Hey, I'll take a freebie."
I mean, he took an easy gift right there, and Dinwiddie will get the ball back once again. Into the third quarter, though, it is 19-9 still with Dinwiddie on top and getting the ball back.
You talk about a momentum shift. You lose Curtis Allen. You throw an interception back to back.
It's, like I said, you need your guy out there, and I believe when Curtis was on that field, I think just everybody had a little bit more confidence in him. I mean, like we were saying, 178 yards in 3 quarters of playing. I mean, that is a great game. I mean
that's. You could only hope you have a running back that's going to be able to give you that type of yardage.
He was the guy last year. He stepped in.
Yeah. So with that, it's going to be a 1st and 10 on the 33. They are taking a quick little intermission for the end of the third quarter. So with this next snap will be the start of the 4th. So they are flipping sides of the field.
Dinwiddie is going to have the ball on the 33-yard line to start their drive, start their fourth quarter off. And with this momentum shift, do you go clock management or do you try to go for the dagger and go deep?
I think you play it safe considering Prince George's defense has been coming in strong, especially this half. I think, and Chris Allen is out there. He's got to be feeling some type of emotions towards everything that's happening right now. I think you try to play it safe. Because look at that. I mean, they're grabbing him and slamming him.
You're not just going to take our best player out and just expect us to just roll over is what they just said with that one. But this is also a great reason of why I would have never been allowed to play quarterback. If I see single safety over the top, back-to-back plays, I'm going to call my own play.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is exactly why I could have never been allowed to
Somebody
do it.
else take this thing. But he does keep it again, and he's going to throw it deep. Oh, my goodness. I thought that corner was going to end up getting it.
He was trying to track it. He just couldn't find it. And he couldn't get downfield far enough. I mean, he heaved that. I mean, it was 8 yards over the nearest anybody, guys.
So this is 3rd and 12, which, again, they didn't get it. They were 2 and 5 on 3rd downs on the other side. I'm curious. Let's see if they can get it here. It seems like when they're in a 3rd down situation with some pressure, they're not really able to come up with it.
Passing situation, single safety over the top.
Expect the
He's
pressure.
pressing in. Oh, they're sending. None of them are backing out. 2 of them backed out. They didn't need to go anyway.
Wow. Hard hit to take another sack to back them up.
It's going to be a big loss, and it's going to make it 4th, and that looks to be...
Just when you think Prince George is starting to lose it, they come back and shows you that defense keeps you in games.
Definitely still in it. Curtis Allen getting a whole bunch of love and appreciation from his fellow teammates right now.
I do like that he's still on the field. Not on the field. He's on the sideline, on the bench. They're looking at him there, but...
Oh, this one did.
What was that?
What?
Did he take a knee? They turned the ball. Dinwiddie Generals backed up 4th and 14, on the 30-yard line, for some reason, took a knee. I don't understand what just happened. That's a turnover on down. That's going to put Prince George with the ball on the 30-yard line.
What? I have never had my face twist so hard.
Wow. All right. So, again, let's talk about it. Prince George is right back into this thing because now...
Whoa, it's a whole difference maker right there.
Now, I mean, you need Sorry, they're down on the 15. So they're 1st and 10 on the 15.
You started out 10 yards.
There you
5
go,
yards
and you got a
deep.
running back that runs it up and takes you to
The 5-yard
line.
It's a
Wow.
10-yard gain. That's going to bring up another new set of downs. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Prince George Royals. Wow, what a
Very
sequence
of events.
Yeah, what a very weird, strange sequence of events is exactly what I was going to say. I mean, whoa. But like I just heard from a fellow fan, you've got to finish this. You've got to get down here, and you've got to get into that end zone, especially right now in the 4th quarter, down 10, and they do.
Push it in. That takes it up to, wow.
That was Javon Davis-Lee stepping in for Curtis Allen, and he gets the 5 yards for the touchdown, which is going to make it 15-19 with just over 10 minutes left. Dinwiddie still on top. We're waiting on the point after.
Now,
Whoa.
all of a sudden, we're sitting here talking about, like, oh, what a momentum shift. Losing your player, catching an interception. Just to have a weird sequence of events that puts you in the end zone and puts you, depending on this field goal, right now, 4 points down.
They got it off, and
it's
is good. That is going to be a 3-point deficit now. The score now 19-16. Dinwiddie still on top. 10 minutes left in your 4th quarter. This just got a little weirdly interesting.
Now you've got this sense of Dinwiddie of like, all right, we got to make something happen. You know, like, again, you don't want to do anything crazy like take a knee on 4th down, you know, but you want to kind of move the ball a little bit because it's close. I mean, we're within
I think
a
we
field
should call
goal
that
now.
with our Pee Wee team. What do you think? Knee? 4th down?
I don't know. I'm still scratching my head. I don't know what happened there. I would love to talk to somebody after the game for them to explain. I mean, you gotta think that it was an error.
Oh, it was solid. I mean, there's no way that was planned. Absolutely no way that was planned. I mean, I don't know exactly what the thought happening, whatever the event was, but that just made it an entirely different ball game. And if you're Prince George, you just walked up to your defense and said, "Can you get it back from me one more time real quick?"
One more time. We believe it. Especially after a running back who hasn't carried the ball one time all game runs it in for a touchdown. There is a short, quick kick that's going to put them on
The 40.
Yeah, about the 40. We got a real nail biter here. This is one that, like I said, it's an unusual game.
There's a pretzel in my head. Great run.
Wow, I think they really anticipated that fullback to have it, because if you saw, there was 3 linemen that were all gathered around him like he had the ball, when really the running back is just running right on up.
It's going to make it a good 2nd and 4, though. Ball just outside the 40. Nope, sorry, 45. Quick correction.
So you don't mean this 55?
Whatever you want it to be, Brad. They still got 55 yards to go.
There we go. All right, see, oh, you're not always wrong. I think they are going to take a loss there of about 4.
Gonna make it a 3rd and long.
So it's going to be 3rd and 8, just over 9 minutes to go on the 42. We do a quick pass to the screen.
And he got the 1st down.
You got the 1st down. That's a 3rd down completion.
You set it down for the Generals. And they've crossed over into enemy territory. Clock winding down to 8:49 left in this 4th quarter. Ball on what looks to be the 43. 47. There I go again. I'm messing up. See, you done it to me.
See? I'm glad it's you this year, Jesse. Maybe all my bad juju is going to carry on to you this year.
Slings it over the middle, and he almost
just
connects.
Dropped it.
Almost connects with Zachary Weaver over the top, his tight end. Which would look to have been another first down for him. I mean, they want to stick with that pass game. I don't, so far in this game, why? I do not trust Prince George to stop it. If you come out here and you just try to throw it over top of their head, I mean, look at the middle of the field.
Yeah, the middle of the field's wide open. You've got,
Weird shift. What's going on?
They're about to pass it deep. Nope.
Slings it with a screen
And
and he drops
another
it.
Drop.
He had great blockers 5 yards ahead of him. He could have definitely easily got a good gain out of that play if he just held on. Dinwiddie's passing game is starting to slip just a touch. Crowding that line of scrimmage. Single safety over to the top. Ooh, that was a jump.
Be a jump. No flag. Interesting.
Oh! That was tipped and almost caught. That's intended for Cedric.
They're going to kick it back to Prince George.
It's exactly what Prince George needed, a
Yep.
defensive stop and in punting territory. Let's see if they can take this 8 minutes and 16 seconds and try to get it and get back on top here in this game. Or for the first time. Get on top for the first time.
Yeah. Really high
High
snap. Ooh,
Got a
favorable roll.
for Dinwiddie. Grabs it, goes upfield with it, cuts across to the middle. Makes it all the way almost back up to the 35. I think he's just short at the 33-yard line, but
What looked like it was about to be a bad start for Prince George turned into a pretty good
that ball took
possession,
a
you know?
very favorable Dinwiddie bounce, and he definitely rolled with it. He could have been stopped well deep in his own territory, back up at the 5, and he got that all the way back up. I mean, that was a great gain. I mean, that was almost a 30-yard gain on that. I think if he would have cut to the middle just a step sooner, he might have got a little farther on that one.
I don't think he anticipated being in that situation.
No.
I think he was like, I'm just going to pick this thing up. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. We got it.
I wonder if he was counting in his head. That's 1. That's 2. Missed. There we go. 3 missed. Oh, couldn't get past him before. What we got?
Wow, there was a block in the back that's going to back Prince George up. So all that yardage just to get taken back.
Still in better shape than what they would have been.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're still starting on the 24 rather than the 3.
See if they can march on downfield. 8 minutes left. 1st and 10.
Only down by 3.
Only down by 3. Like I said, that knee gave it a weird turn of events. It's crazy how one play can just turn an entire game. I mean, you see it every time on Sunday. Any given Sunday.
Man, had he had taken 2 steps to the right, that window was open. That is going to be about a 1-yard gain for Prince George, which is going to take him to 2nd and 9. Clock still ticking with 7:40 to go of this game. Only down by 3. It is a 19-16 game with the Dinwiddie Generals on top.
And even though it's not a high-scoring game, so far it's been pretty fun to watch.
It's been a very exciting game. I mean, there's been some good defense played. There's been some good offense played. This is what you want. There is a bad snap there.
Dumps it off. Connects. And that's a first down for the Royals with a flag on the field, though. Let's see what that's for.
It's in the backfield, which makes me believe it's going to be a false start.
I think that was a little late for a false start. It might be a holding on the line.
Ineligible lineman downfield. That's going to back him up. Take back that play and probably back him up 5.
Well, you're chewing up clock, but you're not chewing up much yardage right now. You need to march down and punch it in the end zone. Put the pressure on Dinwiddie for the first time in the game.
Well, you've got to score, and with enough time to be able to do it again, because you've got to assume that Dinwiddie's been playing the way they're playing. Their offense has been so strong that you got to assume that they could just march right back down and score also. So you got to give yourself enough time to score here, have them have an entire possession, and then have the ball and do something again after already burning some of your timeouts.
Let's just talk about this real quick. I mean, 2nd and 19 on the 15. I mean, everything of what you've gained has almost been sucked right back out. Running to his left, dumps it, can't connect. It's going to bring up 3rd and 19. 3rd and very long, needing to march downfield, especially a little bit farther for a little bit more punt room, at least for anything.
Yeah, I think this is one of those ones where you're running, you want the 19 yards, but if you can get 7 out of it to give yourself a little bit of room to kick this ball.
Because when they kick it from here, you're going to be starting out in your own territory already.
Close.
Trying to defend it, and it's not been an easy road when Dinwiddie starts out in great field position.
They're going to pass it.
Slings it over the top. If he would have checked down one more receiver to number 26, Stephon Hicks, but they haven't been able to connect very greatly this game. Instead, he went a little bit more over the top, and he just couldn't get there, which is going to bring up 4th and 19 on the 15-yard line. 6:40 left in this ball game.
I think Prince George is confident in their defense right now, though. Again, they gave up some points in the first half, but they haven't given anything up this second half. They got a safety. They got back-to-back sacks. I think they're feeling good about their defense right now. So I don't think that, although I'm sure they wish they were marching down the field, I don't think they're as nervous as you would think they would be being in this position.
Very low kick.
Bad kick, and that looks like that might be Prince George's ball.
That's going to be Prince George's ball. I'm pretty sure he touched that football. And it is.
Wow, Prince George just got the ball back off of a muffed punt.
I tell you, this Prince George team is showing you that they for sure got the dog in them. They have not given up one little bit this entire game. They have fought for it. They've given the extra effort. Not everybody runs that hard on a kick.
Yeah.
They reversed it.
Wow, they reversed that, and I don't think that was the right call. I wish we had ESPN's replay right now, because I'm positive that ball touched that.
I'm right there with you, but we're a little farther away than the refs. I'm not going to argue too much, but I am pretty sure he touched it. I'm going to argue with
your white hat. I think you're wrong.
Don't call you did that on the field with our Pee-wee, the white hat.
He is. Look at him. He's got the white hat.
He's supposed to.
I know.
Okay.
He's the white hat. Instant replay. Somebody in the crowd is screaming instant replay, because I'm with him. If we could instant replay this right now, I think we'd have a different turnout.
I'm pretty sure it'd be PG ball. That was impressive.
Run it up the middle, maybe minimal gain.
Maybe even a
yard.
I think that's going to be 2nd and 10 once again.
I think he got right back to the line of scrimmage before getting taken down. That's going to be a 2nd and 10 with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Clock still ticking. 19-16 ball game. Dinwiddie on top.
Did I just see a leg brace fly?
Don't
Did
know.
anybody else see that? It's right there.
Is it on the field?
It's legit on the field right there.
There's a
Flag,
flag in
that's
the
holding.
backfield. There's going to be a holding on Dinwiddie, I believe.
And that is Jaden Banks taking off. Let's see what this flag is for, but I'm still real curious on what a thrown leg brace means. Is that a type of penalty? What is the black flag rule? I need to know what exactly happens here. Are you supposed to take a knee or?
That the old saying of break a leg, you know? They're like, I don't know. That is definitely weird. And it's just still there. Nobody's going to get it.
Nobody.
Who threw that? Why? Go get that. Somebody's going to trip on it.
It looked like either one of the quarterbacks or a running back, or one of those for Dinwiddie, just chucked it behind him and was like, you know what, we're just going to leave that there. We'll come back for it, you know.
That was a holding on Dinwiddie, so they are going to go backwards.
Well, he can pick up his leg brace now.
But it looks like there was a penalty on Prince George as well. So those penalties are going to offset. This is going to be a 2nd and 10.
And, yep, just going to throw that
Do
back
it
there again.
What?
Yeah, we don't need that. The old knee feels good on this play.
Run up the middle. I think he's going to get 1 or 2 before getting stopped.
Maybe a yard or 2 on that one. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
I'm just happy that they're taking this knee brace off the field.
I think he's going to go back over there and actually, but I think he was having trouble putting it on. I think it was getting loose on him, and the best decision is to just throw it behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, looks like he's over there trying to get it adjusted back on now. Defense is showing up right now. That's going to be a 4th down. Punting situation. Unless they look like they're keeping them on the field.
So it is looks like 4th and 6.
Looks like they're going to switch their ideas here last second. They're going to send the punt team out real fast, trying to confuse Prince George. You just throw somebody back there. Throw your safety back. Oh, no, they're not.
Yeah, they're going to punt it. I don't know.
Nobody is back there.
All right, he's backing up now.
He's not going to get back there for it. That's going to be a touchback.
Best case, you don't want another with as many muffed punts and, you're better off just take the touchback.
How about the last-second trickery from Dinwiddie? I mean, they are putting all the cats out of the bag here. I mean, this is all we've gotten practiced in. I mean, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
set the tempo early. Again, it's going to be a long season. Although it's a short season, it's going to be a long season. Kind of see what works now.
they've definitely practiced their. I mean, to be able to come out here and do all this, to be able to say, "Hey, last second switching," you know what I mean? Just to get lined up, to get the kickoff, to.
You got a little trickery there. Remember earlier with Prince George, you had the little trickery where Tahir Johnson stepped off to a direct snap to Allen.
That was beautiful.
Both teams are kind of showing you that we're not this traditional pounded up your face, running team. They did do a pass to the left side. I think they're going to get about 6 out of that.
Just under 4 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Time is winding down. Prince George wants to do it. They've got to do it on this drive. Unless you really, really rely on your defense enough to be able to get you the ball back again. This is the drive where you've got to march downfield. All alone in the backfield. And he slips. He would have connected with him. Just lost his feet.
Bring up 3rd and 5.
We'll bring up 3rd and 5 on the 39 with 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go. 19-16 ball game. Dinwiddie on top, Prince George with the ball.
Standing back in the shotgun. Steps back to pass, immediately pressure in his face, and a big sack. He's going to get carried all the way back to about the 10-yard line. Whoa!
Now this brings up the interesting situation of now it being 4th and very long, 4th and 13, or 4th and 12 maybe?
At 15. I was waiting on the score.
4th and 15. Wow. They do not have that spotted right this second. But with it being that, do you punt it? You're down 3 minutes to go, clock still ticking. Do you trust your defense that much?
The defense has made a lot of stands, and they've made all the stands in this second half so far. And
with the loss of their timeouts that they used early in the half, now we're looking at a situation. You've got to get a quick 3 and out.
Yeah. First down could almost be a game killer here, depending on what Dinwiddie
one first down
does.
And this game is over.
They're already catching the ball right here on the. Made it to the 40, making it up to about, it's going to be the 37, 38-yard line with forward progress.
I'm torn on what the right call was there. I don't know if going for it on 4th and 15 is that smart, but I don't know about giving them the ball back with
I wouldn't have done
it.
Their offense hasn't been that electrifying this game, and especially with your best player sitting right now. The only reason they've got that second touchdown was the weird knee that happened back here.
Right.
But their offense hasn't been that reliable, and to get 15 yards deep in your own territory with Dinwiddie possibly steamrolling right in and putting it out of contention, I think it was the right call, but Prince George they're going to have to do something right here and right now if they want to stay in this game.
Whoa! Big hit in the backfield. He's
Didn't
going to
fool
lose about
anybody.
6.
Did not fool anybody. That's going to drop them back to about the 45-yard line.
That is going to be 2 minutes and 10 seconds still going, clock ticking.
2nd and long here for the Generals. I think I see another leg brace on the field.
Right in the middle of the field, too.
It's like you were saying, what if you step on that? Good cut, good block.
Timeout, Prince George with 1:41 to go in this ball game. That's going to take them to a 3rd and 11. Picked up about 5 on that run.
This is gonna. It's 3rd and long, right? This is gonna be. They're sticking to it. They've got to get the stop here. They get it here, you give your offense one last chance. Coach out there reminding them of every word of that.
Again, we want to thank you guys for being here with us, enjoying this show with us. Give us a like, a follow, a share. We'll be here all season. Like I said, there's 6 games this season. 4 of them are home. Those 4 games, we will definitely be here broadcasting your Prince George Royals. We'll let you know on social media for Colonial Heights and Petersburg. As of right now, it's up in the air. But next week, we will be here 7 o'clock for Matoaka.
Shout out to Prince George, though, for getting us in here.
Yeah, like we said, it was just such a question on if the season was going to even be able to happen. And when the season was questionable, we were definitely questioning if we were going to be able to be here, and we're here. Shout out to you guys. We're glad you're here. We're glad you were able to make us here.
With that, we got the Generals trying to run it to the left, and that got sniffed out real fast. He did not get fooled at all.
And there,
Chris Allen.
Big brother
with the big
coming
stop.
in for the stop again.
I got you, bro. I'm going to put you on my back, and I'm going to go out here and get the stop.
That was Prince George's last time out, so that's going to put them at 100. Well, I don't even know what I was about to say. 1 minute and 34 seconds left in the game.
They make movies about games like this.
I'm sure Prince George is hoping for a fairy tale ending.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure. Dinwiddie is trying to hold on, and Prince George, they want to ride off in the chariot tonight. I don't think you could pay me to cheer right now.
I was about to say, you know, the cheerleaders in sports don't get enough support. These girls are out here in the freezing cold just standing. At least the players are running around. You know, they're getting a sweat in. These poor girls are standing in the freezing
Shout
cold.
out to all you former cheerleaders out there. You know what? Have you a moment.
Yep. Shout out to these cheerleaders.
Especially tonight. Shout out to these cheerleaders.
So we've got a punt situation where Dinwiddie is going to punt the ball, 4th and 16 on the 44, going to back Prince George up, way up. As long as something weird doesn't happen, and with this game, you never know. Something weird might actually happen. Fair catch signaled. Good roll for Dinwiddie. That's going to back them up to what looks like about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Jamon Davis-Lee waved that one off. That was in a whole lot of heavy traffic, but he fooled everybody by backing up like that.
Yep.
Ball's on the 7-yard line.
And you want to talk about a field in front of you. What if I told you, hey, 93 yards and you could win this game?
90 yards. It's a long ways, but I mean, again, stranger things have happened. One big run. I mean, you still got 1 minute and 21 seconds to go.
If I'm offensive coordinator, I'm calling a knee.
You think so?
Oh, wait.
I think we've
it's not
seen
fourth
enough.
down.
I think we've seen enough knees tonight.
It's not fourth down. What am I
it's not
talking
fourth
about?
down.
All right, we come out with a pass, and he's going to throw it over the middle, and that is caught.
Caught. Now they need the tempo. Get it going.
That is Lee Peterson with the big reception over the middle.
1 minute and 13 on the clock.
First down once again. Dinwiddie showing a little bit of up-tempo. Whole lot of motion going on.
Prince George is just trying to get back to that ball and get back to it fast.
Down to 1 minute to play. Drops back, slings it again, doesn't get it. Wanted to connect with him one more time, but he just couldn't get the ball there. I think he lost his back foot just a little bit, or might have slipped off his finger, but that at least stopped the clock at exactly 1 minute to play left in this game. You've got 75 yards to go.
So he's got 2nd and 10 on the 35 with exactly a minute to go. Prince George down by 3. So here Johnson's going to take a step way back. That looks like
Is that a lot? They blew it dead, but these.
that looked like intentional grounding to me. I think Dinwiddie is saying the same. So that makes it a big 3rd and 10. 3rd and long with 54 seconds to go.
Prince George has been the one to convert him this game, though, so let's see if they can do it one more time to keep him in this game. All alone in the backfield. 4 wide, sending 5 receivers over the middle. And he gets hit, but he has got another first down, it looks like.
Yep, he's going to be about 4 yards past the first down. So Prince George needs to really step up on time because, I mean, they've got 46 seconds. Once that ball is placed, the time will start ticking again. They've still got a long ways to go. I mean, they're 60 yards away. All right, they're going to take.
What was that?
He spiked it, stopped the clock. The crowd doesn't seem to like it.
It's a smart move. You want to hold that clock up. It gives you the second down. You just had a big play. This gives you a touch more time to talk to your offense to really pick out the play that you want to run here. The ideal thing to happen right here is you want to cross the 50 with this play.
What you've got to start playing. Yeah, you've got to make some moves, but you got to play time management too. Throw that ball to the sides.
People saying they didn't like that call. I mean, they haven't done good in rush situations all night.
Right.
They've done their very best when they've been able to take their time. That is why they
look
like
at
to
this
come
receiver
up.
to the right. Bink! There you go.
Drops it.
Oh.
Stephon
If
Hicks
he
once
would have
again.
thrown to him 2 seconds earlier, that'd have been a completed pass for a big gain, and he could have stepped out of bounds.
I know you were looking at the receiver, but I was watching him, and he was running for his life pretty quick after that. I mean, he came through almost untouched and was in his face in a matter of a second. So he at least got it there. But, I mean, the line is going to have to step up right here, right now to help this team move forward. 36 seconds left, another third down. This is where the crowd's going to say we should have tried to do something on first down.
But you would be down to 24 seconds right now,
Exactly.
you know?
That is caught,
Throws
and
it.
they crossed the 50. That's a first down.
Again, the clock is stopped as of right this second, but they just placed the ball.
Once they hike it, that clock will start. So what they're going to do is they're going to hike it and immediately spike it. That way, if anything, it goes down to 29 seconds, and they can talk about it. And they do. Clock goes to 28
seconds. The crowd is not loving it. But I'm telling you again, I think it's a smart move. You've got
when you've burned all your timeouts in the third quarter.
Right. You burned all your timeouts, and no matter what, this is a go for it on fourth down type situation. So it's the
You
same
still
thing.
have 3 more downs,
Right,
yes.
you still got 3 more downs.
You're keeping it 3-down territory, which is going to keep your offense a little bit laxed. And when you keep giving them these same things to keep repetitively doing, like spiking the ball on first down like that, and a big
There you
reception
go.
over the
right
middle.
up the middle. There you go. I cannot
Touchdown!
believe it. Prince George scores.
What a comeback!
What a turn of events.
17 seconds left. Prince George is going to go up 22-19.
That's why you spike the ball. You spike the ball, you get your head together, you figure out what you want to do, you throw it over the top, hit him in the middle, and boom, touchdown. 22-19.
Oh my,
If
what
they kick-
a game.
If they kick this extra point, then that puts them at a 4 points ahead, which would mean that Dinwiddie would have maybe 2 shots at a touchdown.
That was a beautiful drive capped off by Javon Davis-Lee, and you cannot forget all the hard work that Lee Peterson did by catching it over the middle like that, taking those big hits to get you those increments, those first downs, and you didn't get them.
He missed a point, so now they're 3 points, only 3 ahead, so they're a field goal ahead, but Dinwiddie only has 17 seconds, and again, Prince George's defense has played a perfect game this second half. Prince George's defense has had a perfect game this second half. They believe that they're about to win this game. They believe that they can stop them to not score even a field goal.
And
right
why
here.
wouldn't you believe it? Your defense has come out in the second half when they had 19 points thrown on them in the first half, and they have stood up every single one of these drives and held them off or got the ball back. Of course you got the faith in them. I didn't have the faith in the offense, if you want me to be honest. I really didn't. I didn't think they were going to go 93 yards.
What were we talking about earlier about having the dog, having the heart? That's where it shows right there. That shows that we are down and we're having to spike it to stop the clock, and we've got the crowd screaming at us, what are we doing, blah, 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 but you tunnel vision.
Just took the lead for the first time with 17 seconds left on the clock.
Wow.
Don't ever give up.
Wow.
Never count yourself out.
If you're a fan of football, you're a fan of what just happened, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, whether you're Prince George or you're Dinwiddie. You gotta like that. Little muffed punt. Dinwiddie does have the ball, and they run it all the way up to like the 45.
I tell you, if PG makes the stand right now, it's incredible.
So 6 seconds to go. Prince George up 22-19. It is Dinwiddie's ball on Prince George's 45. So they've got one shot to throw a deep pass.
Seriously, I don't think I would have wanted to be at any other high school game tonight. I mean, if you would have told me Prince George Dinwiddie at first, I'm like, okay, all right, I'll go watch it. After coming here, wow, what a game that we just had.
Again, let's talk about their game last year. 27-24 overtime win for Prince George. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these two teams play each other, and they play each other hard. You do have an odd corner situation. Look at the Hail Mary attempt.
Yeah. They did nothing but just...
And that's game.
That is ball game.
George has won this game for the second year in a row. They have played Dinwiddie and beat them.
Congratulations on fighting to the very end on that one. I mean, wow, what a turn of events. I mean, it gets down to, 6-19 at one point. You're buried 12 deep, 13 deep. I mean, then you get a knee here. You punch it in. Your best guy goes down right before that. What a game. What a defensive stand in the second half. What a way to keep fighting and taking advantage of everything that the other team gives you. Congratulations, Prince George, tonight.
This is a lot of what we saw in them last season, though. It was a lot of last-minute comebacks, a lot of the defense taking a stand. I mean, I can't believe that they were able to pull that off.
That was an incredible game, incredible series of events there. I mean, wow, that's all I can say. What a game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did because, wow, please seriously like, follow, and subscribe to us. We are going to be doing this all the rest of the home games, trying our best, like we have said, all this game to get to the 2 away games. But seriously, Formation Sports, give a like, share it, follow us, whatever you want to do. We would highly appreciate it.
We'll keep you updated as we know on those away games. Like I said, as of right now, we will be back next week at 7 o'clock for the Matoaka game, which again, Prince George played Matoaka last year. Prince George beat Matoaka last year, so we're curious to see. They were able to run it back on Dinwiddie. Let's see if they can do it again to Matoaka. We've had a lot of fun.
This has been great.
Yeah, definitely like, follow, share, come back. We'll be here next week. To Curtis Allen and family, we hope the best. Hope to see you again this season. We don't want it to be we just hope the best. We hope we see you again this year. Hats off, 170 some yards, 178.
178 on I think 20.
184 yards was the final for Curtis Allen.
What a game, and he did that in 3 quarters. We got to remember that. He did that in 3 quarters. I mean, they are down there having a grand time. They are loving this. Can we see that? Wow. What a game for Prince George.
Good game to Dinwiddie, too. You know, we're talking a lot about Prince George, but Dinwiddie, I mean, to put up 19 at the very, in the first half, to be able to get the run-pass mixture in there. I mean, Dinwiddie played a great game. It was just one of those weird situations where that knee killed him. I mean, I can't wait to hear what happened there. I can't wait for the coaches to explain to us what happened. Why did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like I said, one play can turn it. After that happened, Prince George steamrolled. Dinwiddie didn't get anything going in that second half, which is really surprising to me because they owned the entire first half. Great game, Prince George. Dinwiddie, I know you're upset, but you have a lot that you can really go back and look on and be proud of in that game, except for you didn't come back with that W.
I believe, I could be mistaken, but I believe they play Petersburg next week. So if you not tuned in to us, and the people that are here for Dinwiddie, find the game, watch it. With it being such a crazy COVID year and we're being so unpredicted, if we were even going to be able to do this, support it, like it, donate to it, donate to Prince George, donate to Dinwiddie. Let's just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's show the support for our communities, and we appreciate you. Again, we'll
Thank
be
you
back
so
next
much.
week. Metallica, this
you so
time
much.
next week.
Thank y'all.